and sexual abuse must stop. Join me in this fight now. I want you to see suspects say among friends and families. See suspects say in the schools and communities. Children of the future, they depend on you. Report to the authorities, that's what you should do. You see these signs, do what's right, put a stop to child abuse. See suspects say among friends and families. A message from the Child Development Division within the Ministry of National Mobilization in collaboration with UNICEF.
Have you ever heard about Logs Cash and Carry? Well, let me tell you, Logs Cash and Carry provides retail products at affordable prices, making them competitive with major supermarkets. Logs Cash and Carry also provide wholesale on some products, mainly from Log Enterprises. You can get toiletries, cleaning supplies, shortening, margarine, wholesale drinks, and canned goods at competitive prices. Logs Cash and Carry is located at the top of Fountain Stretch, VG Highway. Our opening hours are Mondays to Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Logs Cash and Carry. We look forward to serving you.
Are you looking for a pharmacy that's not just a place to pick up your prescriptions, but a hub of health solutions tailored just for you? Then look no further. Welcome to Roy's Pharmacy in Arnesville. We've got a fantastic selection from top quality medicinal cannabis to a wide array of over-the-counter and prescription medications. But wait, there's more. Get your personalized orders delivered from overseas. Terms and conditions apply, of course. Find us in the heart of Arnesville on Sergeant Jack Drive near Grant Thornton Accountants. We're here for you every day, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Fridays until 7 p.m. Saturdays until 3 p.m. and Sundays until 1 p.m. Call us today at 570-7249 and follow us on Instagram at Roy's Pharmacy SVG. Visit us today for a healthier tomorrow. Roy's Pharmacy, the future of pharmaceutical care.
OMG in the morning.
Oh Lord. I was buried alive, but I'm still breathing. I don't know what tomorrow may bring, but I got a feeling. There must be a reason. I was given one more chance. My heart's still beating. Buried alive, but I'm still breathing. I don't know what tomorrow may bring, but I got a feeling. Oh, now I am alive. There must be a reason. Was given one more chance. My heart's still beating. Now all this time I've been blind, only running against the wind. Friends of mine pass with time after living a life of sin. Some many give up, many give in. It's my determination to win. I survived the worst of times. I survived, yeah. I was buried alive, but I'm still breathing. I don't know what tomorrow may bring, but I got a feeling. Oh, now I am alive. There must be a reason. I was given one more chance. My heart's still beating. Ditch for one, but there would be two in their attempt to hold my life. The wicked things they do, but Jah make I brave, and I conquer the grave. Oh yeah, the Lord is my salvation. Of whom shall I fear?
Andy Freitas, good morning, darling.
But I'm still breathing.
It's Tuesday morning as we take it to hell to them on a Tuesday morning. Good morning to you folks. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I haven't done that in a while. Lord of mercy. It's one of these mornings It's been overcast all morning. I don't know if that is because of things to come, but I don't know. I got my buddy inside with me this morning. So Bing, that's what he says. And I need to call him. Should I say? So Kish. So Doc is with us this morning. Good morning to you, Doc. Good morning. Zoom in a minute. Just going a bit tighter a little bit for me, please. It's a bit tighter. A little bit more. Going. A little bit to the right. Come to the right. Turn the camera to the right. Right? Straight to the right of me. Shady. Yeah. Yes, there we go. Perfect. How you doing?
Good morning.
Okay, unmute his mic there for me, please, Shady. Shady boy, oh Lord, you see what it is put up with, and you just walk here, you walk?
Shady is my partner, man.
Shady is your partner?
I see you just in his maroon top.
Yeah, for spite. He told me yesterday he was going to do that today.
Coming in the maroon.
Yeah, he said he read Josie dirty, so he was going to try and get some clothes.
Something maroon. Good morning, Bing. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, St. Vincent and Grenadines. I just posting you on my WhatsApp, on my Instagram, and everything.
Go on, Clay.
Yeah.
I go on, Clay.
So we on.
Go on, Clay. And let me just let you know what the lineup will be this morning. We've got we got Dr. Charlotte inside with us this morning. Also to come this morning, we've got at 7:45, we've got the Good Counsel will join us at 7:45 this morning. At 8:15, we've got the Sweetie Man, the man from the Prime Minister's office, the press officer from the Prime Minister's office. Yeah, the government worker, the ULP man, the campaign man, the everything man. He will be inside with us at 8:15 this morning, and we go right through. Not sure if we will have the other ULP person, which they have, which is Ian Marshall, sometime during the course of the morning. I'm sure he will message me at some point and let me know what's going on. Morning, Major. Major just saying morning. Good morning to you, Major. Good morning. Yes, Major saying good morning to the good doc as well, too.
Morning, Major.
Yes. How have you been?
Well, I'm making the best of everything, taking one day at a time, being positive as usual, living in my grounded principles. That's all I can do, Bing. But yeah, it's you just have to take one day at a time, stride by stride.
You've been getting a lot of slings and arrows coming in your directions. How have you been handling those?
Expected when you're in public office, you have to expect to be scrutinized, and yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's people holding you accountable. People have their opinions and so on. You just have to be respectful. I mean, there's sometimes you wonder if people need to go to the extreme that to do. But
what do you mean? Some people go to the extreme. What do you mean by that?
Well, in our
I know what that means.
In our politics,
context.
You would have been on the receiving end of these things as well, Bing. But in our small society where we pretty much know everyone, we know someone who knows the other, family, friends, or whatever. We have allowed politics to create such a division behind us, and quite often we are even insensitive. Some ridiculous comments, things that you won't expect sober-minded people to say. Attacking, family, friends, whether they are alive or dead, and all these things. Very insensitive. Sometimes you wish people could be more appreciative of life and the real values, of life, good health, love, and all of that. But it's just the state we are in as a society. And as I said, I'm only one man, so I accept it all and just try to play my part in making it better.
Because of all that's been coming your way, and you've been dishing out your fair share of it as well too.
No, I wouldn't say.
Come on.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
You know, every time you call him and name the Prime Minister's name, he's go, oh God, he called me name. And he goes crazy and press conference and this and this.
But if you're in public office, especially the highest office of the land as Prime Minister, you're expected to be criticized. You're expected to be at least scrutinized. And when you don't perform, then people are going to raise questions, people are going to say things. And you don't take it personal, Bing. I don't take it personal. Right? As I said, there's sometimes you find people go overboard. But it's all part and parcel. We are not perfect.
Right. We're not perfect. Do you have regrets?
No,
None at all.
none that I could think of right now.
Your
Bing.
family have regrets, given all that is happening right now.
Politics, being involved in
Yeah,
politics.
yeah, with you.
No, well, none that have been expressed to me, right? I mean, listen, you got to be practical about this thing, right? And I would tell you that it is an ungrateful job, politics, and I understand politics, and this is why people like Major Leacock, our chair of our party, Daniel Cummins, Dr. Friday, and the other senior members of the party, which is why I hold them in such high regard and respect, because to be on the opposing side for this many years and constantly day in, day out, giving your all to the people of this country, that is extremely commendable. In fact, these men don't get the sort of recognition and praise that they deserve, right? So it's one thing when you're in government, Bing. It's one thing when you're just handed a seat or a portfolio with government. But to be on the opposition side for years, I mean, I saw it with Patel Matthews and North Leeward, right? Winning his seat, yes, but in opposition.
In the wilderness, basically.
And people are demanding of your resources and your time and everything. And you know, differently, you don't appreciate it. But it is an extremely incredible job that these gentlemen have done in opposition for so many years. And again, I can't say anything that would come anything close to the sort of credit that they deserve.
Okay. Well, this morning, as per usual, but I wasn't around for Carnival. I don't know what yesterday. I don't know what these guys were going on about Carnival. I don't know. But I think the real Carnival starts now. As we get more and more closer and closer into the elections campaign. And I think there'll be more and more masks, new masks, old masks, sexy masks, ugly masks, traditional masks will be coming out at this time as we get down into it. You are here this morning as in two folds. As the you're smiling. Eh? You know I'm going. You ain't getting it easy this morning, eh? Lennon beg for you, eh?
I never get it easy with you.
No, come on, bless my heart.
And that is why I return every
Bless
time you
my
invite me.
heart, bless my heart.
Lennon
Lennon wake me up this morning and say, oh God, Lennon, come on, you know I will never. Come on.
Big up me fit, man. Big up me fit. That's my dream, man. That's my dream.
That's not just you, Vibes Cartel dream too.
That means he knows when Vice Carter coming back.
He done the date. And he say 1 month free. 1 month free when Vibes Cartel coming. Listen, what's going on with West Indies cricket? Let's start there. What's really going on with West Indies cricket?
I would say it's a generational issue, Bing. Now, when I say generational issue, is that when I took on this responsibility of President of Cricket West Indies, it was with the appreciation that we had a lot of work to get done. A lot of work, because I've been around cricket long enough to know that. And from the outset, I've been on almost every platform across the Caribbean. And if you go back to some of our recordings here in this studio, you will hear me saying that it is not something you're going to fix overnight. Now, the truth is, we have enjoyed such success in the past, in the 70s and the 80s, that it is so difficult to accept why we are at this stage today. Why we getting bowled out for 27 runs in Test cricket? Why can't we win series when we are in positions where it clearly shows that we could win these matches? Take, for example, yesterday, and one of the issues with yesterday is that spectators' hopes would have gone so high after bowling out Australia for 120. I can't remember the last time a team bowled out Australia for 120 something runs, right? And getting a total of 2, we can't make the runs. But if we were paying attention over the years, Bing, we would realize that we will reach to this point. And unfortunately, we had to get to this point in order for people, stakeholders of West Indies cricket, including administrators, including governments, including players and staff and so on, to realize that, to accept that we have to do better in pooling resources across the region, right? And implementing systems and infrastructure. And I'll tell you, Brian Lara has a new book out called Chronicles of England, where he documented all his tours to England and include England in home series and some other stuff. And in that text, Brian clearly stated that the decline of West Indies cricket started in 1995. He identified 1995 as the point, he was in the team then, when he realized that, hey, we are in real trouble here now. But prior to that, prior to 1995, Sir Clive Lloyd, along with Darren Sammy, is one of our most, is the only other captain apart from Darren Sammy who has won 2 World Cups, 1975 and 1979. But Sir Clive, you would probably accept as the most successful captain we have had in our history. When he was captain of West Indies team, Clive called on regional governments to introduce retainers then, because he saw players going all over and playing, but he realized that our development came from playing in England and not in the Caribbean, because we didn't establish systems in the Caribbean, our infrastructure. We had nothing in place. So even then he called on governments to intervene and address these deficiencies we had then. All that fell on deaf ears. Fast forward to Sir West Hall, who was the president of Cricket West Indies, I think around 2000 thereabout. Sir West called again on all stakeholders in the Caribbean to unite. Let us work to rebuild our cricket then. Again, that fell on deaf ears. So, remember 1995, Bing, when Brian Lara said our decline started. I was just about 10 years old. I was about 10. When our team won the very first World Cup in 1975, I wasn't anywhere close to being born yet. So you have these deficiencies that exist for decades. They simply cannot be fixed overnight. And so you have had different presidents since me. You're talking about established businessmen. You're talking about high-profile lawyers.
Politicians.
You're talking about politicians who have been the president of Cricket West Indies and West Indies Cricket Board, as it was called then. And they were not able to resolve this thing in their tenure. Reason being, and this is what I identified when I started in 2023, that unless we get CARICOM on board, meaning the regional leaders, until we get coaches and people appreciating that, or even the former players appreciating that, not because you're a former great meaning you could be an excellent coach, but that you have a role that you could play otherwise. Until we understand that we need to generate more revenue in West Indies cricket to rebuild an infrastructure and establish systems, we are not going to be able to compete consistently. So you look at Australia, and I had the opportunity to go to Australia before. When you go to Australia and you see the systems that exist there, when you see the infrastructure that they have, there's a clear gap between Australia cricket and West Indies cricket. And unfortunately...
Wasn't it your responsibility, though, to bridge that divide and to bring us in that place when you took the helm of West Indies cricket?
Bing, we have had a prime minister for 25 years, can't turn around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Do you expect a president of Cricket West Indies to turn it around in 2 years? It is impractical. It is simply impractical. Now, let me tell you, right, that the gap is closing. But remember, Bing, no one is stopping in world cricket and waiting for West Indies to catch up. So Australia is not sitting there and saying, well, let me give West Indies cricket a chance to catch up with us. No, they're advancing. So as we improve, they also are accelerating their growth and their improvement. So they are implementing infrastructure, first class system, technologies, they're coming up with innovations, and so we are still behind.
But who's doing this in Australia? Is it the government of Australia or the cricket administrators of Australia who are doing this?
There's a
because
culture in cricket.
the last time you came here, you spoke glowingly about the amount of monies which were made during the last World Cup through Cricket World Cup and the West Indies Cricket Board.
Yeah. So being here, let me tell you.
Where's all this money?
Right. So being, the reality is, so, and I'm glad you highlighted it, because that was the last year.
Right.
And last year as well, we signed the biggest commercial deal in the history of West Indies cricket, right? Which is $100 million over a 10-year period with Caribbean Cage. Even if you start investing this money, whether from last year or this year, it doesn't translate automatically to improve performances on the field.
Okay.
Because
Not immediately.
Players can't wake up tomorrow morning and get better.
Okay.
That is real. So we have seen glimpses of hope, no pun intended to our white ball captain, Shay Hope. But we have seen signs. So look at our fast bowling unit, who skittered out Australia and sort of took us back to the years of Michael Holding and our great fast bowlers. Now that is strides. So we are making strides. But everything cannot come together at the same time, at the same pace. And that is just good. That is how it is in life, because life is about processes and so on. So
are you not embarrassed?
I am hot, not embarrassed.
Okay. Do you take responsibility?
I believe in accountability. So as the president of Cricket West Indies, you can't escape responsibility for your team. Now I will tell you that and most.
So you're saying under your watch, as president of Cricket West Indies, West Indies have gone down in history of the lowest scoring team of 27.
The lowest innings.
Of 27. Of 27. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Since 1955.
Yeah.
Under your helm.
Yeah.
Right? What does that do to you?
Again, Bing, sometimes you have to accept that there needs to be situations, circumstances for people to appreciate the full scale and scope of a situation.
Right.
Right. Now, I have been saying this. So, whereas I didn't expect us to get bowled down for 27, which is ridiculous, right? At the same time, you could understand why it happened. And that is the key thing. So in leadership, I now have to understand why it happened. And because I've been saying this for such a long time, now Australia got bowled out for 120, just over 120 runs, right? Australia has the best bowling lineup in the world, and it was proven again yesterday. Right? And maybe our batsmen, they didn't quite appreciate that fact. But I could tell you that they are hurting just like any one of us, or the fans. In fact, last night I sent exchange messages with Darren Sammy, our head coach. And you could feel the hurt and the pain, right? This morning I reached out to the captain as well. Because they don't go on the field to perform this poorly, right? But as the president of the Cricket West Indies, I obviously not going on the field, but I must take some level of accountability, right? Now I could be impulsive, I could be reckless and say, you know what, let me fire everybody because the buck stops with you. So fire the entire management team, get rid of the players. In fact, prior to this, people were calling some of these same players to get into the team. And I stand by that we have put out pretty much the best team we could put out on the field. So I know it is not the players. In terms of this, it's just a matter of skill set that is available to us in the Caribbean. But if you don't nurture talent from very early, if you don't put these systems and infrastructure in place, then it is going to be extremely difficult to expect the sort of favorable outcomes and results that we want.
So you're saying we've got to go to the lowest of the low in order to start coming back? Is that what you're saying?
Well, sometimes you need a reality check, and God has his way. And one thing we don't do is question God. And God has a way of showing us things. You have some people still believe that talent alone could get you over the line.
Okay, let me bring back. Let me jog your memory, and tell me if you remember this.
Yeah.
And where this came from. Thank you to the thousands of fans, legends, past players, current players, administrators, territorial boards, stakeholders, and all other persons who have supported our cricket first champions. We will not disappoint you. Yours truly, Scarrett Shallow 2019. That was your pledge, along with Shallow, to the cricket fans. Yes, in 2019. Are you disappointed that you've disappointed so many fans, and should you be offering an apology to the fans of West Indies, whether in the West Indies or West Indies all over the world? Whether this morning you should be coming here to say, I am sorry, I disappoint you, I didn't make the mark.
No. That is ridiculous. Again, there's a process. Now, what I've done, I've put out a statement, and you'll probably see it just now, right? Just reminding people of the process and to be patient with that process. Now, to say that it's not a matter of being apologetic, because that is not going to fix anything in our cricket, right? This is again about people, and this is what leadership is about, right? Being composed in these situations, in these difficult situations, getting the people together, right, to understand. So what I've done is call on the chair of our cricket committee to convene a meeting, an urgent meeting, to review and assess that performance yesterday and the whole series, because it just yesterday was just one encounter, right? A very terrible encounter, but it was one encounter. But we have lost a series. We have lost all 3 matches. We were outplayed against Australia, who is the best team in the world, right? But to understand and bridge that gap that exists. So in addition to advising the cricket committee to meet, what I've done further is to extend invitation to 3 of our former greats, our legends, Sir Clive Lloyd, Sir Vivian Richards, and Brian Lara, to have them be part of that meeting and assessment of our, because the issue you could see clearly is with our batting at this point anyway. And to come up with ideas how we could, one, establish short-term goals to ensure that what happened yesterday doesn't happen again in the near future, at least. And to ensure that long-term we have that sustainable growth and success in our cricket. Because I'll tell you, a couple of years ago, Bing, and this is not to offer any comfort to anyone, but I'm just giving you the reality. A couple of years ago, in fact, a few years ago, but think at least 2020, 2021 there about, this same Australia bowling lineup out down India for 35 runs.
Okay, but we're talking about West Indies.
We're
talking about West Indies, and we got 27 runs. We're talking about West Indies.
Yeah, but it's relative. So I am saying to you,
it's relative to what? It's not relative to me as a Vincentian and as a West Indian.
I am saying to you,
I don't care about how much they took out India for.
But what I'm saying to you, Big, is that as a fan, right, with India, since India has been bowled out for 35 runs, we have seen a remarkable turnaround in their cricket. And I am hoping that sober feeling you get when you lose so badly, that it resonates with all of us at Cricket West Indies, right? Not only the board, not only the administrators, but players, coaches, and other stakeholders in our cricket who has great influence. Because I could tell you, I could get up tomorrow and resign as Cricket West Indies president, and I guarantee you, the problems are still going to exist.
But you said that India has turned around, but what you've not said is that since then there have been a complete cut off, decapitation of the complete head of the Indian Cricket Board.
No, that is not
after
true.
That,
No.
the
You don't know that
Indian
for a fact.
Cricket Board was removed, including the president. After those series of events.
That is not true, Big. That is not
accurate. I know
administrators.
Are you not prepared? Okay, then let me ask you directly. Are you not prepared to offer your resignation as a vote of no confidence to get a fresh mandate because of the embarrassment that this has caused West Indians home and abroad? Not just players, not just administrators, not just trainers, but other people, legends, have spoken out.
Bing.
Will you be prepared to offer your resignation and try and get a fresh mandate given this historic embarrassment that has been placed in West Indies cricket?
Bing, it is extremely easy to scapegoat in these type of situations. When you have situations like this, it is so easy for one to say, the board. Right? I mean, yesterday I saw a few comments, right? And you see the board, you see the head coach, you see the director of cricket, you see the selectors, right? But no one really point towards the root of the issue. And the root of the issue. Let's bring this home. Let's put this into context.
Let me know when it comes to his backstage, okay? Let me know when it comes to his
Let's put this into context, Bing. Let's bring this to St. Vincent and Grenadines. How many test players has St. Vincent developed in the last 15 to 20 years? All right. How many Vincentians are in the West Indies team now? This test team. 0. All right. How many Vincentian batsmen? Because batting seems to be the problem in cricket West Indies at this point. At least that is what we have seen in this test series. Right. We can't produce a batsman, one batsman in St. Vincent, from St. Vincent to play in West Indies team. Right. Now, just using this national context. If you look further, and this is where the root of the issue is now. If you look even further nationally and say, who is the next Vincentian player that could make West Indies team, you would scratch your head for a very long time. Because it's difficult to identify any. Because the system, the breeding ground that produces West Indies players, for cricket West Indies, they are not producing players. So, when the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, the Prime Minister, because I expect him to come out sometime today.
You hear it.
Today, between today and tomorrow, we know we're going to hear from him. And he's going to come out and he's going to be celebrating this in his usual disguise way. And he's going to come and lambaste Cricket West Indies, especially the president of Cricket West Indies, blaming him for that performance yesterday. When he himself has been in government for 25 years. Shady trying to sabotage me there. Shady sort out the audio, please.
Mute those things when please, Shady. There's no need for those there.
You working for them, man?
Yeah. You don't get text. You don't get
right.
You don't get text.
But you won't stop this point here from being made.
Yeah. You don't get text. Yeah.
So, Bing, yes. So, being the Prime Minister here for 25 years and cannot produce a test player because we do not have any infrastructure for players locally to train on. Now, how can you expect to have batsmen of international standard competing against the likes of Hazelwood, Cummins, and Stark for Australia? But yet you don't have infrastructure where players could go and practice on afternoons or in the morning or if rain come.
So hold on.
So no. You hold on, Bing. Because
listen
to this point.
I feel as if you transferring
because that is the root of the problem.
The responsibility to someone else when you are the president of Cricket West Indies.
Cricket West Indies owns one facility, which is in Antigua. What we have, we bring together the original players identified nationally. And we try to make the most by putting them in high performance center and so on. But and this is the hard conversation that people are afraid to have. Because if you cannot address the issues of grassroots cricket, of primary school cricket, and of club cricket nationally, you could do almost all you want at the Cricket West Indies level, and we are going to be getting results like what we got here yesterday more often, right? So when you can't help Nash, and this is why I've engaged CARICOM, and I'm not saying, and I have accepted my responsibility in this, right, which is to coordinate the resources and bring the people together in the region, the stakeholders together, because I know for a fact that Cricket West Indies on its own cannot resolve the deficiencies that we have been seeing for decades. It is not possible. And if governments don't accept their responsibility in implementing not only programs, but also infrastructure, basic infrastructure, then we're spinning top in mud bin.
We're going to have a very interesting morning. We're going to come back to that and so much more. We got Council backstage. Let's go straight to him, Shady. Let's bring him in. It's now time for Plain Talk with our very own Council, Jomo Thomas.
Plain Talk. Plain Talk with Jomo Thomas.
So much things to say right now.
All your talk now. On OMG.
Good morning to you. Say good morning. Dropped out? Okay, all right. We'll wait for him to get back in.
And until he comes back. And let me just similar to how I just mentioned.
We're waiting for you to join back.
Let me use St. Lucia as an example, who has embarked on the journey to help restore West Indies cricket. St. Lucia has established a sports academy where they have cricketers. They have established a high performance center with young cricketers, even on retainers monthly, just so that they could practice. They are given infrastructure that they could practice. They have just invested $1 million in cricket gears.
Okay, but Cricket West Indies making a lot of money, and where's all this money going? But hold on, we got Council backstage. Let's get to Council. We getting back. We dealing with everything this morning. We're not sweeping anything under the carpet this morning. Council, good morning to you. Welcome inside this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning.
Shady. Good morning, Keisha. Good morning, Katie. Most of all, good morning to you listeners.
Morning, Council.
Keisha, I don't know where you bat in the order, but you can be sure we have some real fast bowlers going to be coming at you today. So be prepared. I hope you're armored. Better yet, I hope you can play without armor, because that's when we were great. We played without armor. Richards, Kalishuran, Lloyd, all of those guys played without armor, and they emerged at the top of the world. But I want to say, though, that, and you know this because I speak to you from time to time, and I made the point yesterday on one of the chats that I'm in. It's a long time that I have watched West Indies cricket, because I read it, I follow it, but I can't watch it because it's maddening. It's sad to see the kind of performances that we have over the years. I remember writing a column over 10 years ago in which I made the point that West Indies cricket may never get back to the glory days of the 70s and 80s, but I expect us to get to a point of competitive respectability. And we keep going down and down and down and down and down. Now, the important thing for us to understand is that we have tried all of the great ones to try to rescue West Indies cricket. Lloyd, Richards, Mike Findlay, and you may know them even better than I do. And we keep slipping and sliding. And I believe, like you, that we have an infrastructural problem. We have a resource problem. I was heartened when I heard the Guyanese government saying that they were prepared to put a significant amount of money into cricket, and they have the money now with all of the oil money they're making, and they have the great Clive Lloyd as the person who should be headed up that academy. Some good things may come out of that. I agree with you that even though we are losing and we are losing badly, we seem to be turning the corner at one level, and that is that in the fast bowling department, we now have Seals, who has a quite impressive record. We now have Joseph, who just got his 50th Test wicket in this series. So there's some promise there. What we need is greater grit and determination. Maybe the time has come for the emergence of some Laurie Gooms and Chef Shantapal on the team who can hold an end with the hope that we may inch on to something good. I mean, if you look at that game, that test match that was played yesterday between England and India, it was an amazing test match. And you have a man like what is it? Jadeja, who has really been playing impressive cricket in this series, scoring 70, and yesterday again he scored 61, even though the Indians fell short of the 193 that they were supposed to make. So cricket is not dead, but cricket is really, Test cricket is really on life support in the Caribbean unless we can get our batting back on. We know in order to win, you have to be able to bowl a side out twice. And I think we are getting better and better in that department, in that we are consistently bowling teams out, but then we are faltering in the batting department. So one hopes that we can get better. I quite appreciate the fact that you said, look, I'm not on the field of play, but I am hurt by our performance. And I think all Vincentians, all Caribbean people are hurt. It is difficult to tell us to rally around the West Indies when the West Indies performing in the way in which it is performing. But centrally, though, you are getting this heat. If you look at the persons who are commenting, you are getting the heat more for your political position than for West Indies, than for the state of West Indies cricket. Because all of us know that West Indies cricket is in the doldrum. And you have a big task. You took on the manly task of saying, boy, let me see if I could put something here. Having worked at the helm of St. Vincent cricket, at Windward Islands cricket, you decided to go and try to put your hand in West Indies cricket. And some good things have happened there. People are getting more money now. There are attempts to build facilities and so on and so forth. Women, there's the equality of the women in terms of what they get for their effort and their ability. All of those are good things that people may not see. And I did say, and I have said, that cricket has now been reduced to 4s, 6, and wicket, because people don't pay a lot of attention to what the game demands. In a sense, I'm sorry for you, but I'm glad you're not sorry for yourself. I'm sorry for you because you're getting all of this beating, and it has consistently happened. The Prime Minister of this country has taken it as a mantra to make out that West Indies cricket has gone to the dumps because of, with you at the helm. And I thought you made a very important point last night. I happened to read the book that you talked about, the Brian Lara, the England Chronicles. And Brian Lara made that point that West Indies cricket started really going down in 1995. That's 30 years on. That's 3 decades. You made a significant point that in 1995 you were 10 years old. So for people to come now and blame you for where West Indies cricket is really weak, and it's really a political sledging rather than your efforts at the helm of Cricket West Indies. I hope that with all of the things that are happening, with the efforts that the Guyanese are making, the emergence of a new set of quality fast bowlers, I am hoping that we can turn that corner. And hopefully, when you get into government, I hope that more and more would be done to ensure that cricket bounces back in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that you would push, or your government would push across the region to ensure that more is done to help to build West Indies cricket back to a point of responsibility. I got to tell you though, that I was listening and I thought it was most brilliant. Here's Bing Joseph pushing you. And your response was, look, we have a man here who run in the country for 25 years. And he ain't turned St. Vincent around. But there he is pushing you and cursing you and condemning you for your failures. And let's take it as that. Your failures after 2-3 years. It seems to me that if they want to sledge you and call for your head and ask that you should go, evidently, the man who's been here for 25 years and has not done anything to turn the country around should be gone a long time ago. But that has not happened. There's another point I want to make because I want people to get a chance to hear you. I'm certain they didn't come on to hear me today. Kish, you played cricket for a long time. You are now a cricket administrator. You are a fairly effective communicator, and I'll say this to you. A lot of times, when a man bowls a wide, you let it go. And you would know that the safest cricket, the safest shot in cricket is when you leave the ball alone, it goes to the keeper, and you get to play the next ball. Gary Sober said, never be worried about the ball that just went by if you are still at the wicket. And you're at the wicket. I urge you to keep on doing what you're doing. I expect you to do real well in your efforts in the next few months in the North Leeward constituency. I have said that I am committed to give you all of the assistance and that you may need in that regard. But I don't want you see, for example, when you were at the meeting, I think it was at the meeting in Spring Village. Excellent points you raised there, talking about the difficulties in that village. And then you went into the foray about carnival. And that's something you should just let it pass. You can't take on everything. But your presentation in Spring Village, I thought, was, based on the commentary I read on it, was excellent. And I hope that you would go on from strength to strength to continue to make the contribution that I know you can make to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I wouldn't go on much longer. Today's your day. So carry on, my friend.
And it's not.
Thank you, Council.
It's not looking like a good fet match for him today at all. It's a test match for him today.
I don't believe in fet matches.
It's a test match today.
Another fet match, man. I leave that to
all right. Until we meet again.
Council, thanks. And Bing, let me just say that.
Let's do the station ID and then we come right back.
Right.
Okay, let's do the station ID. Shady, bring me the station ID and we come right back with Dr. Shallow inside, President of Cricket West Indies. Let's go, Shady. Take me away.
Wake up with the real Badman Bing and DJ Shady.
Cricket West Indies inside with us this morning, Dr. Kish, our very own Dr. Kish O'Shallow, my friend. Of all the years that I've known you, Kish, when this song started, and Shady again, I show you a message to play that song there. I saw a message came in and something dropped in the kitchen to play that song there. I've never seen that look on your face. You look down on the floor and you had a pensive, sad look on your face. That's my observation of what just took place when the song started. What was going through your mind?
Just before I go, I answer your question. The point I was going to make before we took this short break is that similar to Jomo, Counselor, many have received several messages and call, voice notes, and so on, offering support, right? Understanding and appreciation of the situation we are in. And just to answer your question, Bing, in my position as president, right, what I've seen and being the vice president to Ricky Skerritt and observing Dave Cameron as the previous president, as the president before Ricky, I have seen where in the boardroom, where we plan and we do some tremendous work, and you feel as though you're making 2 steps forward, only for on the field itself to make a step backward. And I say this in the context that here we are establishing global commercial deals that we know in the mid to long term these are going to manifest into improved infrastructure and so on, because you need resources. And you're doing all this and you're in conversation with Nike and you're in conversation with other people in the commercial sector, but yet you have this sort of performance by players which push you backwards by give you a backward step, as I said, 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. And I remember not too long ago when we were just before we had the award ceremony in Barbados recently, a few weeks ago, we engaged some of the legends at our board meeting.
Which we'll get to.
Right. But just in the board meeting itself, we invited them and a few of them came. And I remember, I think it was Sir Andy Roberts who said, listen, Mr. President, we could say all we want here, and people out there could say what they want. If players don't take responsibility, there's nothing you could do, right? And so I'm not saying this so we're throwing the players under the bus, but what I'm saying, this is a collective effort. And if people decide that it is more convenient for them to scapegoat and say, oh, get rid of the board, get rid of the president, get rid of the director of cricket and so on, and not look at the bigger picture, we are going to be in this state for a very, very long time, far beyond Kishore Shallow's tenure.
That being said, do you see any similarities, because you're now a politician, between what you've just said and politics and governance?
There's similarities in the sense that, again, you have to be conscious and sensitive to the environment, right? Also, it is critical. You see, I'm coming from a point where I'm always objective. I try to be always objective. And so you would not, just like how I credit our candidates, our MPs on the NDP side earlier for their involvement and sacrifices over the years, is the very same, I would say, for some of the MPs on the government side. And you won't, I don't be overly critical, because I understand sometimes there are things that we don't see. When you're on the outside, there are factors that you won't see. So what you try to do is get a great appreciation for entire system or situation before you offer an opinion. A lot of people don't do that. Now, so when I came out recently and Jomo mentioned about my criticism of Carnival, right? If you don't mind me going there quickly. I
really mind.
You mind? You want to leave that for later?
Yeah.
Okay,
I want to stay focused.
Right.
We've got another segment. Let me just say, Are you saddened? I try to get into your emotions now. Are you saddened? Do you feel a sense of the fact that you've let down the people of the West Indies, the West Indians, the Caribbean people, the people from all over the world who support West Indies cricket? Do you feel that you've let down the legends, the countries, not necessarily St. Vincent, who support Cricket West Indies with you at the helm? Do you feel as if you've let them down, as disappointed them as president of Cricket West Indies?
Bing, I wear two caps in this situation. First and foremost, as a cricket fan, right? Because I've always said before I am an administrator, I'm a cricket fan.
Right.
And as a fan, I am as hot as anyone who loves West Indies cricket.
As a fan, so as an
as a
administrator.
fan, right?
As president, not just as an administrator, but as president.
Well, listen.
As president.
All right. So, and as a fan, I could understand the frustration of being glued and committed to watching the sport and getting your hopes up and realizing that you're this close to victory only to be let down, right, by a team. And so the emotions that I'm feeling as a fan, I have to divorce that from being a cricket administrator, especially the president with a 360 view of what is taking place in our cricket. And from that vantage point being, I am very conscious that the issue runs deep, right? The issue at grassroots cricket, with the deficiencies and the non-existence in some cases of school cricket and club cricket, the lack of collaboration over the years is what those things have us where we are today in cricket, right? And with that reality, I am also very mindful that there's a great part for someone like me to play in turning around West Indies cricket.
All right. I want to play something for you, okay? And I segue into legends, other islands in the Caribbean, leaders in the Caribbean, not necessarily St. Vincent, and the way they feel, okay? I'm going to play one of the legends for you. And tell me, how does this make you feel?
So disappointing. So disappointing. I'm angry, I'm upset, because I think we were building a good thing a few years ago. The boys came out here, had a fantastic drawn test match, had a test match win in Brisbane, a drawn series, and then we went to Pakistan and drew 1-1. Fantastic results. And then we had wholesale changes. And to see this is the end result is like what we've done for the last 2-3 years in trying to build something is just sort of go up in flames today.
What do you say to a team who have been clearly rebuilding over the last couple of years, who are probably feeling down and out right now? What's your message to the team?
What can you say? I think, like I said before, we were building something, I think, under the former head coach, Andrew Coley, that we removed and inserted the new head coach, Darren Sammy, who was our white ball coach. So he's now the all-format coach. And now you sort of take one step forward and then I think 2 now backwards. Where do you go from here? We've got India coming up in a couple of months, a 3-test series. It's going to be tough. And then we've got New Zealand. So it's not as if we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. We've got a few easy oppositions. It's going to be tough. So you just got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off and try and get right for India.
What needs to happen though? Does the coach need to go?
Oh, somebody got to be answerable. I think he also is the only selector.
Oh.
So just imagine someone that is picking the Australian team and is also the head coach. So, he's got all the power, so he got to be held accountable. I know that's not going to happen. You're not going to remove him. When are we going to see Australia again on our shores or our West Indies team on these shores, the way the financial model works? I don't know. I mean, you want now to host India and England. So where does West Indies cricket go from here? I don't know. So disappointing. So disappointing. I'm angry, I'm upset, because I think we were building a good thing a few years ago. The boys came out here, had a...
For that, because I know you must respond to that. But we got to get into the other segment. Shady, let's go. It's now time from the press officer from the Prime Minister's office. I'm sure he's gloating away. Let's go. It's now time for the Sugar Man. Let's go, Shady. Bring him. Linden Vibes Cartel Money. You got one job to do, buddy. You got one job. Your partner. Oh, Lord. He itching this morning. His fingers can't wait to hit the dials this morning. Linden Vibes Cartel Money. I hope he paying for a month free. Anybody who got to register at BFET, you're getting a month free. Compliment Vibes Cartel as of the end of this month. 1 month free in preparation for the coming. 1 month free. It's now time for that segment in which we call the Sugar Man. Let's go. Good morning to you, buddy. Good morning.
Zaga, now.
Lying for me. You know who that for.
Good morning, my comrade Shady. How are you doing?
If you want the answer that day.
Come, I ain't talking to you. Make sure you turn up my mic, eh? Make sure you turn up my mic. Don't be sabotaging me. I can't even hear Shady. Turn up Shady mic.
No.
Turn up my comrade mic. Comrade Shady, how are you doing?
Morning.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I gotta beg for your mic to be turned up, comrade. You understand? This is what they do to us. Good morning, comrade Shallow.
morning, neighbor.
Aye, that's how I love it, me and me neighbor. Oh,
only you will come with something like that. Oh, Lord, I got you. I left the room. Billy, we left the building. I've left the building.
Come back. Good morning, everybody listening to Boom 106.9 this morning. I, first of all, want to say this morning that I feel bad for you, Dr. Shallow, and your team, the board, the players, all the directors, that you have to go through this. And I will leave that there for what it is worth. But I will also be very critical this morning. And like you indicated earlier, when you're at the helm, you have to expect it. And I would just like to say this. I noticed the previous commentator was given his full time to say what he has to say without a barrage of interruptions. I am hoping that I will be accorded the same courtesy this morning. Having said that, let's get into it. It's very shameful to see what took place yesterday. But it is an indication of the direction in which West Indies cricket has been trending over the last couple of years. And to come and state this morning that, the problem started 30 years ago and I can't do anything about it is disingenuous, given the fact that you campaigned in 2019 against the then chairman of the board, who was Dave Cameron. You hailed his incompetencies, his inability to turn around the fortune of West Indies cricket. You rallied the very same CARICOM leaders, which you are this morning tossing one by one under the bus for, as you say, not giving enough support to West Indies cricket. Albeit, a few weeks ago, you were in Barbados praising them for all the support they give to West Indies cricket. It's a remarkable turnaround. I remember, myself, that we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and in the rest of the Caribbean were utterly dismayed and disgusted with the performance of Dave Cameron. And we so indicated. And that is why we supported you. And that is why the heads of government in CARICOM supported you. Because you and Skerritt promised that you would turn around West Indies cricket. You said you had a plan. You would put the plan into work. And we would see results. And then to come here this morning and say, I only had 2 years and can't work in 2 years. You had 6 years. 6 years. You and Skerritt began this journey. What you're doing now is a continuation of that 6-year journey. And if you can't make it in 6 years, then you don't blame everybody else. You come here this morning, you're blaming CARICOM heads, you're blaming the players. Well, let me start with the players. If you have a car and you're entering a race for months on end and you can't win the race, you come in dead last and you blame the car. Then a man takes your car, enters the same race against the same competitors, and he wins with your car. The problem is not the car. Similarly, our players, which don't take responsibility and who are not stepping up, as you claimed this morning, they don't win when they're playing for you. But other people take them and win. We're seeing it across the world. So the problem can't be the players. Because when they play for other people, they win. They are champions by nature. We have the best. We have the best raw talent for cricket anywhere in the world. That's why our guys are so sought after. Something is definitely wrong with the leadership of West Indies cricket. I expected that this morning we would be hearing that Darren Sammy had resigned as coach of West Indies cricket. Because in any other game, if this was football, for instance, the coach gone this morning. And this is not a political thing. I can read you the comments from West Indian fans all across the Caribbean and in the world. They don't have any connection to Ralph Gonsalves, so why are you blaming Ralph? This is Jai Siramlal, sorry. I checked. He's from India. Excellent coaching by Darren Sammy. That's his comment. Now, you think Ralph told him to do that? Eshwar Singh, I checked him. He's out of Guyana. He says, fire the board and everyone under them. Take a 2-year recess and start afresh. Start everything new. And now, Ralph, and these comments go on and on and on forever. So why you try to politicize it? There's no politics involved in this here. We all love West Indies cricket. And West Indies cricket, they've been losing. They've been getting whitewashed. Whole year they're getting whitewashed. I mean, that's your legacy. Aren't you concerned that this is your legacy, that you'll be known as the whitewash president? This is all we're getting. And we were getting whitewashed series after series. We were in crisis, having lost the series already. And on Thursday night, you were not paying attention to that. You studying to mount a platform, politically, to run down Vincy Mas, to run down your opponent, Carlos James, who's responsible for the most successful Vincy Mas we've had in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's his legacy. Who is coming off of last year, the most successful year in tourism, the most productive year in tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines history. That is Carlos James' legacy. And on track to beat that record this year. That's his legacy. And while we were staring down a series defeat, you as the president of West Indies, that's your job. Your job is not to cost Carlos James and Vincy Mas for the successes we're having. Your job is to sort that out. But you were paying attention to local politics. If you can't focus on West Indies cricket now, you can't give it the focus and attention that it deserves now. How are you going to do it when you're in active politics? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to make you a senator when you lose. How are you going to focus on West Indies cricket? Are you going to continue to place the blame on everybody else? Why are our players, our best players, are leaving? We've never seen this before. Not even under Dave Cameron. Dave Cameron used to win. Dave Cameron won 2 World Cups. Made it to the semi-finals on multiple occasions as well. The same Darren Sammy was a winner under Dave Cameron. And he's not winning anything under you at all. We have to keep playing the minnows. We are at the lowest we have ever been in the history of West Indies cricket. And then you come to say, it's government and so on. And I felt so ashamed this morning to hear you say we haven't had any test players from St. Vincent and the Grenadines within recent times. Sonny Lambert's play test for West Indies cricket. I feel even so more ashamed to see that on the batting batting scorecard yesterday, Warwican is there, and you make the comment, how many Vincentians we have playing for West Indies now? None. You said none. Warwican is a Vincentian. You don't even know that. As a Vincentian, as president of West Indies cricket, you're entirely detached. You're solely focused on Carlos James and Ralph. How do you feel? How do you think Warwican feels as a Vincentian to hear you make a statement like that? How do you think other cricketers would feel to hear you toss them aside like that? And then you talk about the local association and grassroots and so on. You were president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cricket Association, were you not? How long were you president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cricket Association? And what did you do to transform cricket in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over that period of time? What did you do to transform it in North Leeward? You can't keep shifting the blame. You have to accept your incompetence. By the way, is it true that I'm asking this question? I'm just throwing it out. Is it true that the West Indies Cricket Association, West Indies Cricket owes the local association hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to $1 million? Because I hear Bing talking this morning about all the profits that were made from World Cup last year, and we talk about the fact that the association needs this and needs that and so on, and local cricket needs injection of funds. But if they're not getting the monies, then I don't understand how they will be able to properly operate. And then come here and blame Ralph. How could you blame Ralph for your failure? No, nobody else in the region or the world is blaming Ralph except you. Man, I ask you a question about West Indies cricket. You're talking about Ralph. We're talking about West Indies cricket. When it's time to talk about Ralph, we'll talk about Ralph. We won't segue to Ralph. You deflect to Ralph. What does Ralph have to do with this? Ralph Gonsalves single-handedly helped and provided cricketing gear and cricket support for more local cricketers than you ever in any leadership role that you've had. That's a fact. And all the cricketers are listening this morning. I made sure of it because they know. So here we are, 6 years later, after you promised us that you're going to turn it around. After you said Dave Cameron was not doing a good job, which is true. You blamed Dave Cameron. Now you say nobody must blame you. Where's all this criticism of regional leaders now coming from? It wasn't there not even 2 weeks ago. Or so when you're in Barbados. It wasn't there. Carl Hooper put it the way it should be put. And Hooper knows exactly what he's saying. Hooper said, we had a better system in place. You dismantled the whole system. You're doing your own thing. And it's, according to Hooper, it's gone up in flames. That's what Hooper is saying. Hooper is laying the blame entirely at your feet. He should know. And he was in it. And we have seen people like Hooper achieve great success with other teams around the world. So please, do not insult our intelligence this morning or any other morning. This morning, you have to make a decision. You're either going to focus on turning around the fortunes of West Indies cricket, because as you say, I turn it around in 2 years. Yeah, well, it's better you resign because you only got a few years left. It's better you resign. If you don't think you can make it, then resign. Why are you holding on to it? You got to make a decision. You're either a politician or you're the president of West Indies cricket. Focusing. You claim that it's such a great task, but you have time for everything else. You cannot have a split agenda. This is such a great task of such great importance and significance as we near emancipation to West Indian people. We feel very passionate about it.
30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
The person who is leading the charge must be solely focused on this. So make the decision now. Are you going to be president of West Indies cricket or you're a politician? I would prefer that you resign and focus all your energy on losing North Leeward, because Carlos James and the Unity Labour Party is going to beat you in North Leeward and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the coming election. So that's fine. But please, don't come this morning and throw the blame on everybody else and throw everybody else under the bus. When 6 years ago, you told us it was Dave Cameron's fault, get rid of him, put you and scare it in, and all will be well. What below me nose?
Yeah, Mom, but before you go, you normally say any questions, Bing?
No questions.
No question. You don't want no question. None. You're free. You're running this morning. You're running like the running man. Keep running, buddy. Keep running. But the questions will still come after you're gone. Pity you won't be able to answer it.
OMG in the morning.
My thing is, what I wanted to ask the good comrade there, what is the government and his leader doing to help with West Indies cricket? Don't answer that. That's not for you. That's not for you, Dr. Shallow. That was for my partner who just...
I want to clarify something though.
You want to clarify something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Based on
what came out?
Yeah. When I'm asked the question about over the last 10 to 15 years, I was referring to a stable batsman in West Indies cricket, consistent batsman in West Indies from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Right? I know Sunil played across formats. Sunil has played Test cricket, but he has played only 5 Test cricket matches. He averaged something, obviously he didn't do well in Test cricket, which is why he didn't play it longer. Right? Jomel is a spin bowler. He's our vice captain now. Right? But St. Vincent and the Grenadines cannot take any credit for Jomel's success in international cricket. He has played all his cricket outside, and credit to his father and to a lesser extent his uncle Orvin Warrican, the late Orvin Warrican, and his own hard work. That is why Jomel is at the level he is now. So for Candyman, with all his ignorance, as usual, to come here and trying to twist that, as usual, it is, I guess, typical Candyman. Let me also say that Carl Hooper, just to go back, and it makes sense to talk about Candyman. Candyman will love nothing more than me to focus on West Indies cricket. But tell Candyman simply, there's nothing he could do or say to change the outcome of the North Leeward seat come the next election. Because every single sober-minded person in North Leeward, even people who have supported ULP over the years, will tell you right now that one he gone. In their own words, they're saying one he gone.
That's a done deal.
That is a done deal. So he could say all he wants. It ain't change the fact. Going back to Carl Hooper, and Carl Hooper is someone who I have great regards for. In fact, it was Carl Hooper who actually took me on a tour at Adelaide in Australia, a club where he spends quite a lot of his time, because that's where he lives in Australia. And I think he did that interview in Australia. Carl Hooper was actually one of the he was the batting coach under Darren Sammy with the white ball. Right? And it's regrettable that Carl Hooper, but I suspect his emotions got the better of him. Why he come out, in such an impulsive approach and respond to the situation, because he was recently the batting coach with Darren Sam, and I suspect he's somewhat hurt about not being the current batting coach still. And I suspect all that frustration and so on came out there. But in fairness to Darren Sammy, this is the man 4 series as the test coach. The very 4 series. So to be calling for Darren Sammy to resign, I mean, it is not only ridiculous, right? But it is ignorance of the highest power. And further, further to that, right? What I would say is, and this is the reality, and this is the part that I suspect is hurting the genuine West Indian fans, right? Is that we were pretty much 1 session away from winning that game. Up until yesterday afternoon around 3 p.m., we were celebrating in this region, celebrating the greatest fast bowling we have seen since the era of Michael Holland and Sir Andy Robertson. So hold on,
but the end result, we were bowled down for 27 runs. There's no second. You can't win. You can't win in second place.
Well, the point is being,
you don't win in second place.
The point is that we have seen, we witness something that we haven't seen in a very long time, where commentators and followers of cricket over the world is saying that West Indies cricket has one of the best bowling attack in the world.
Right, but
very much similar cricket, to what we had in
cricket. It's not just one. It's not just bowling or batting. You need a combination of both.
Earlier, I spoke about progress, right? And this in itself is progress. When we have our bowling attack now at a stage where we are skittling out Australia, right? That is great progress we are making in one department, yes. And I'm saying that I'm hopeful that that performance from our bowling unit inspires our batting unit, and that we could do a lot more. And again, it is which is why I made reference to our situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and which is why I brought context to the situation. Because if you do not have facilities for batsmen to go and practice on, they cannot get better, and they are going to be exposed at the international level. And until we accept that reality, again, Kishore Shah is going to leave, and others are going to come.
Who do you blame? Who do you blame for not having those facilities?
Bing, you see, it's not about blaming, right?
Who is responsible for not having those facilities? It is about us
understanding that by collaborating, pooling resources together, is the only how we are going to improve our cricket, right? Corporate sector could have involvement in this. The governments could have involvement in this, right? We have to collaborate, right? And pool our resources to improve.
Dr. Shallow, if you don't mind me, okay? Yes. It's no secret that you don't have a good relationship with Dr. Gunsaf. There's no secret about that. There's absolutely no secret about that. The world over. But you have a good relationship with Mayor Motley.
Yeah.
You've got good relationship with the Prime Minister of Grenada, Antigua, Dominica. So what is the problem? Because the problem can't all just be...
So Bing, again, if you listen...
So where is the problem?
So again, another point of clarification from Brother Candyman. Because he said I threw in all the leaders under the bus. Didn't you hear me credit the government of St. Lucia?
Yes, you did.
Right. Similarly, Prime Minister Motley, she has not only invested in improving the infrastructure, she has also dedicated resources to improve infrastructure. In Antigua and Barbuda, we have worked with our facility that we own in Antigua and Barbuda. It is because of our collaboration with the government there as well. Mm-hmm. Right? I think Council Jomo mentioned President Ali has pledged resources into helping to restore cricket. He's looking to set up an academy. But what I'm saying, all this is in the making, which is why I said from the outset in 2023 when I took over the presidency of Cricket West Indies, one of the first things on my agenda was to engage CARICOM and to get them to understand their role. Now, remember, going back, this decline started in 1995. These current leaders weren't around in 1995. Not even the man who there for a quarter of a century was there then. Right? Now, he would have started in 2001 before the others. So you can't, similar to how it is not in any great wisdom to blame the current dispensation at Cricket West Indies, it is difficult to also blame the current leader of Barbados, who has only been there for a few years, into a second term. Prime Minister Mitchell, who is there for his first term, and so on.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back, we'll continue with the local part. We're going to go in more on the local aspect. Shady, take me away, quickly.
You're out. You're living.
On your marks, get set, go! The road to supremacy starts in 784. Sweet Vincy. 4 teams, 1 dream. The battle begins at the CBN Winlock Windward Islands School Games 2025 from July 26th to August 2nd. Welcome to our shores as we face off with the best of the best from Denasia Isle, Dominica to Grenada, the island of Spice, and St. Lucia, Helen of the West. All coming to challenge the pride of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Celebrating 100 years of tradition, talent, and triumph. The oldest games in the region take center stage. Be there for the grand opening ceremony and track and field events. Saturday, July 26th at the Sir Vincent Beach Athletic Stadium. This is more than a game. It's history. It's passion. It's CBN Winlocks Windward Island School Games 2025 in Sweet Vincy 784.
Prepare yourself for the wildest, craziest carnival blowout sale in island style history. We've gone wild with insane discounts. 15% off and up on everything. Save big on ceramic and porcelain tiles. Ideal standard bathroom fixtures. Ruby tools. Genesis.
Boom 1069, the sound setter of radio.
Never got no one that back calling me splurge. Watch me jump right off the curb.
New year, different lane.
We gon' spin and kill everybody. And we're telling all. Bend that over, let that breathe. Shake that.
Boom 1069.
Hands on your knees.
Unleash the sound revolution now on Boom 1069.
You're watching IKTV, channel 112. It's all about you.
For 40 years, we've refined the rhythm of beer, mastering the balance of bold and smooth, crafting flavors that echo through SVG. Between the limes and the laughter, we've carried our expertise across the Caribbean, one brew at a time, perfecting the process, deepening the craft, learning what makes beer not just tasted and felt. And now, with all that we've learned, we bring you what's next. The next wave of refreshment, the next chapter in our story, the next taste to define a generation, not just another drink. This is the extension of who we are, the next experience, the next icon. Imagined and brewed right here at home. It's not just what's next for us. It's what's next for you. It's what's beyond expectations. Own it. Define it. Make your mark. High Rune Next. This is the extension of passion, of possibility. High Rune Next. The future of beer. Made in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the hands that have mastered the craft for 40 years.
This isn't just a run. With each step begins a new journey. A journey of determination, persistence, and self-discovery. With each step, I am back on a quest to push myself beyond expectations, beyond standards. Each stretch, a reminder of the flexibility of the human spirit. With each step, I am breaking barriers. As I push to the finish, I'm filled with pride. Not just for what I've achieved today, but for the journey that has brought me here. This isn't just a run. It's a testament to the human spirit, and I am here for it. Island Sips. Beyond standards, beyond expectations, beyond water.
Meet Mom. She's not just the wake up at the crack of dawn, make breakfast and pack bags kind of mom. She also gets her fitness game on.
Is it a misplaced melancholy? Whoa. Well, it's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My people may talk. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? My God. Rise up, fallen sufferers. Rise and take your stance again. He who fights and run away will live to fight another day. It's politics time again. Are you gonna vote now? You people me a talk. It's politics time again now. Are you gonna vote now? Deal with love and not war. It's the right and it's the duty of a citizen to vote. I abandon them constitution. Long time it need a joke. Fed up of promises and hopeless hope. Ballot box must be empty.
You can tell me what's going on with this guy. You can tell me what's going on with this guy. Huh?
DJ man, top, DJ Shady.
He train words for you. You ain't pick it up yet?
That's my partner over there. That's my partner. That's my partner.
Listen, as the phone lines have been going, we're not taking any calls just yet because we got so much to unpack with Dr. Shadow first before we can interact. We can have him interact. And nobody will call Dr. Shadow and tell him how to play this thing this morning, okay? Let's just establish that.
You only know the place called already, come on, gone.
No man, they had them line up, They line them up. They had them line up, trust me.
Somebody told me you can expect that a few going to be
they had them line up,
paid to call in this morning.
Yeah, they had them line up.
That is alright.
They line up.
That's alright.
Watch and see. But don't worry, my hand fast for the draw. Don't worry. Let's go back to what took place yesterday, the impact it had on the region, on the world, in the cricketing world, because West Indies cricket, no matter are you an Australian, I know family friends who are English, but supports West Indies cricket right down, Shady way going, right down to the nozzle. They will go down with West Indies cricket. So the West Indies brand is a brand that is well recognized throughout the world, and people want to see West Indies cricket do well. Talk to me, Doc, because normally in any major sporting event, after you would have had such a major, not just a loss, but a major loss, embarrassing. It's like elections. When you go down so bad, you have a change of leadership from the top or from the bottom up, or bottom middle, top middle. Can we expect to see under your leadership any changes being done to assess this situation, or are we going to expect that you're going to continue as normal as the way things are going? You've made your point about, listen, this thing can't happen on its own. We need regional support. We need, we need private sector. We need government. We need this. We need CARICOM. Yes, that is understood. But moving forward, as of today, what's going through your head with regard to something got to give? Something must give. In your head, when you lay down last night, you must have been thinking, listen, something got to give.
Similar to your appreciation, Bing, of how loved West Indies cricket is across the world. I share that. And so yesterday, after we bowl out, when we were in the overnight, let me say overnight, when we had Australia 90 something for 6, there were calls and messages coming in. People were celebrating the return of West Indies fast bowling. Then when we bowled them out for just over 120, the messages again were coming in. Excitement. People were reaching out from Zimbabwe, from Dubai, from England, all across the globe, including the Caribbean, obviously. People reaching out with excitement. We saw the vibes at Sabina Park, like what it used to be back in the day. And when we had that collapse, I received messages again from some of these people and some others saying, what is really happening here? And I trust that everyone involved, including the administrators in cricket, but do similar as I have done and continue to do, reflect on this moment yesterday. Because being a victory for us yesterday in that game, had we been able to bat and score the 200 runs, it would have meant so much, not only for West Indies cricket, but for Test cricket. Because so many people want to see West Indies Test team do well. And if we do well, we could revive Test cricket. And a lot of people hoping that we could play that role. Now, for that brief moment while we seemed to be ahead of the game, we experienced that. Now I urge our players, and I will continue to speak to our coaches and so on, about going all the way, right? Yes, there's been some strides, but we cannot afford to lose matches as we did yesterday. And we all have to hold ourselves accountable. Certainly we have. So at minutes to this morning, I was on my computer doing work. Again, I sent off an advice to our chair of our cricket committee to ensure that he addressed this matter urgently, because I don't micromanage Bing. That has never been my style. And I understand that there are technical people who are responsible for this here.
But you expect him to address it in what way?
He's going to call an urgent meeting. That was the advice. Call an urgent meeting of the cricket committee. Assess the situation, right? Particularly of our red ball format, right? Look at our programs along with our director of cricket and other technical people, and include 3 former greats. As I said earlier, Sir Clive Lloyd, Sir Viv Richards, and Brian Lara. Include them in that review and that assessment. And let us ensure that to counter that backward step we made yesterday, as I said, it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I won't say the opposite. I think somebody said 2 steps backward. Carl said that. Yeah. I disagree with that. 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So all is not lost, I would say. And I sincerely believe, and I stand here before you, saying that there's hope in what we are seeing and witness, because There's nobody, no one would have expected us to bowl out Australia for 121. Absolutely no one. In fact, no one would have bet on West Indies winning that test match yesterday. Right? But to come so close,
that
so
being
close,
said, Mr.
and have
President,
that poor performance in our batting.
That being said,
Right.
Mr. President, do you think there was anyone who would have expected West Indies to be bowled out for 20?
Certainly not me. Certainly not me. I won't say not anyone. I'm sure Candyman and the others were wishing for less, right? But not me. And I could tell you not the players either. Not Darren Sammy, not Miles Bascom, not our technical team, right? And so what happened yesterday is one of, and listen, in sports you have to be fair as well. That bowling that we saw from Australia yesterday was the best we have seen, probably most of us would ever witness. But that is no excuse at all for us collapsing for 27. That is inexcusable. And no one can make an excuse for that. That is the point, right?
And I think you're making an excuse for that, though.
Tell me excuse that I made.
Because you're focusing on the fact that our bowlers performed so well. However, hold on, let me finish. However, what we saw from Australia, we may never see another bowling attack like that. It was so impeccable. It was so good. But what about our batsmen? Where does the buck stop with the responsibility for them as professionals to perform at the level to defend against the bowlers such as Australia?
Bing, again, it comes back. Now, if you want to talk about excuses, right? There's none of the batters yesterday would say that, you know, they're content or they're happy with what took place. They would all be extremely disappointed in themselves, right? But the reality is, and this is where we go to solutions. Quite often, again, I don't like blames.
Yes.
You know, you're just blaming and
Yes,
there's nothing. We have done this for 30-something years. Since 1995, we have been blaming. And no one been coming up with solutions.
Not as embarrassing as this, though.
It does, Bing. You lose games of cricket. You're consistent. You know the reality is, Bing. We have won one test match against Australia in the last 25
we've
years.
been consistently losing. And we have not, even though we've been consistently losing, we still have not come up with a formula.
Because it is easier to use the board as a scapegoat, and for people like Candyman and Ralph Gonsalves, our Prime Minister, to come and politicize everything, as opposed to zooming in on the issue and attempting to fix them, which is why I put again the context of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Where are the pitches? Listen, I have some youngsters in North Leeward, in Spring Village, that I have on a mentorship program. 3 of them are cricketers, right? Love cricket, want nothing more. They all want nothing more than to play for West Indies cricket. I ask these youngsters, where do you train? They don't train. Why you don't train? Right? But where are we going to train? Right? These are youngsters from 17. One of them is 16, one 17, and the other one 18. Right? Cannot find anywhere to practice. But yet, you are going to come publicly and criticize West Indies cricket when you are the Prime Minister of a country and you cannot even produce or provide facilities for players to train. You do not have the authority to speak on sports. What are you doing for sports in your country? And if you are not going to do anything for sports in your country, then shut up and don't speak about sports. Leave it to people like Prime Minister Pierre in St. Lucia to speak about sports, because he is actually doing things for sports. Right? Leave it to Prime Minister Motley to speak about sports. Leave it to President Ali to speak about sports. But you don't speak about sports. Right? And this for me is a very passionate thing, because I've been calling on our leaders, especially in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right, to do more for sports. And let me say this, and I say this very clear. I do not have a problem with Ralph Gonsalves. Ralph has a problem with me. That's a fact, right? I sat down with him as a professional, and I explained to him my situation. I suspect that he would have preferred to have me on his side, but obviously I didn't want to be on his side. And for that, he clearly has a grudge, right? So let me just lay that aside. I don't have a problem with him. But the reality is, the problem here is we have a leader in this country who doesn't do anything for sports, Bing. And let us go to this because we need to move on because we're not going to change the result yesterday. And
we certainly got
let us transition to a different thing in sports, right?
But before we go there, you do not have a problem with Ralph, but you think Ralph have a problem with you?
Clearly does. He has an obsession with me, it seems.
Do you think that Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves is deliberately trying to undermine you and in terms undermine West Indies cricket to get to you?
Well, there are evidence there to suggest that, Big. You know, the fellow went on an original campaign against me. He was defeated. First, he attempted to get me in his party. That failed. Then he attempted to bring me down to Cricket West Indies. That to fail because I was returned unopposed as the president. And so this fella cannot accept such failure on his part to remove someone like me, right? I recall one time, you know, and this was for me a defining moment in distancing myself from Ralph Gonsalves. We were on a radio program, Bing, and he said, "Oh, I am not someone who going to consider you as a black boy from North Leeward." As a black little boy from North Leeward. That is what he said. And I recall coming off of that program. He didn't say it was him, you know. He didn't say he didn't put me, but he said he won't say it like some people. He would not categorize me as some people.
I am not saying that you are.
You understand? And like I said, it was a defining moment. And it's sunk in. Right? And I recall coming off that program and I received at least 4 calls after saying to me, be careful with that fella. Right? I will touch on that further. I have more to say on that, but not today. But what I'm saying, Bing, is that if we do not address these issues from a 360 and from my position, my vantage point, I have to address these things from that level. Okay. Right?
Let's take a pin. We're going to take a station ID. When we come back, I want to bring it home because we hear a festival that's coming.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Sure,
Let's
man.
go. It's just gone past 9 o'clock. Let's go to the top. Come right back. We come right back, Dr. Shally. We're going to get in the real bacchanal when we come right back right here now. Let's go. Shady, take me away. Here we go.
The time is 9 a.m.
On your marks, get set, go! The road to supremacy starts in 784. Sweet Vincy! 4 teams, 1 dream. The battle begins at the CBN. Winlock, Windward Islands, School Games 2025. From July 26th to August 2nd. Welcome to our shores as we face off with the best of the best. From Denasia Isle, Dominica, to Grenada, the island of Spice, and St. Lucia, Helen of the West. All coming to challenge the pride of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Celebrating 100 years of tradition.
Party time, get up, get up.
Before I get into it, I'm seeing an interesting message here. I just came in. And I'm leaving this and I'm going straight into the local, bring it right home. Okay, I just got to do this. Prime Minister Gonsalves has fired back at opposition candidate Kishore Shallow, doctor that is, for saying St. Vincent and the Grenadines is 30 years behind St. Lucia economically. Gonsalves said that Shallow should explain why the regional cricket team, West Indies cricket, has sunk lower and lower since he became president of Cricket West Indies in March 2023. All right, we've gone past that. We dealt with that already. You want to respond to that, or should we just move on?
Bing, the only thing I would say to that is that Prime Minister Gonsalves, and people keep forgetting, he was the chair of the CARICOM subcommittee on cricket for many years before I became the president of Cricket West Indies. Ask him what did he do during that period. Just ask that question. He was the chair of the Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on Cricket. He couldn't even do anything in St. Vincent and Grenadines, much just across the region. I credit the former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, who at least made an effort and had at least 3 meetings with Cricket West Indies. President Ali is now the chair, and he, as you said earlier, has indicated that he is going to do, and he has reached out to me, offering to collaborate with Cricket West Indies to establish academy and so on. And he's already, currently, President Ali is building 4 stadiums in Guyana that we're going to use for cricket. What did Dr. Ralph Gonsalves do while he was the chair of that committee? What has he done for St. Vincent and Grenadines for cricket? Do you know, Bing, that St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket, Candyman made the point I was president of cricket of St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket Association too. Yes, when I started as the president of cricket of St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket Association, we were in a deficit. We were in the red, Bing. When I left there, we had $1 million in our account. Right? Do you know, long before I was president, that the National Lotteries Authority gives $50,000 per year to cricket. $50,000 a year for cricket. This has been the case probably for the last 2 decades. It has not increased. How can a National Cricket Association do anything substantial, anything significant with no funding from the government? All the other countries in the Caribbean, probably barring, well, I was going to say barring one, but I remember they made a contribution recently. How do you expect sports? And this is why I made the point, Bing, that the other leaders could speak about cricket and sports. But Dr. Gonsalves has no authority. But I know for a fact that he's shameless, so I expect him to come and speak. But let's talk about the festival, Bing.
All right, let's talk about the festival. Hold on. Let me pull up something here. A release that came out. SVG Emancipation Cricket Festival. Now, I'm waiting for it to load to bring the teams, the names of the teams, because I wanna use that to segue into a particular question that I wanna ask you. Okay, hang on. SVG Emancipation. Hang on, it's loading. Give me a minute, please. We're gonna take a calls. Don't worry. Don't worry if you see the calls are coming in. I'm not taking them both on the WhatsApp and on the fixed line. I'll take your calls, but I really gotta get something. Now, why do you think that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, headed by Prime Minister Gonsalves, have decided to move in the direction after we've got a VPL tournament, highly successful VPL tournament. Recently, in the past couple months or so, I was contacted by a grouping who said that this is the first time I'm going to speak about this publicly and real. I don't even know. I'll talk about it. I don't care. That big. Who got permission from from the National Sports Council to hold a very similar festival on the 9th of August, right? That very similar festival apparently has been cast aside now to host this tournament, Emancipation Tournament. First of all, question one. What is one, Cricket West Indies role in this? Two, Woodward Islands Cricket role in this? And three, SVG Cricket role in this tournament.
Right. So, being my understanding, because I don't have any formal information on this thing.
How could you not have any formal information on this?
I don't. What I've concluded is that this cricket festival, whatever its name, is nothing more than a big circus.
You call him and take a circus?
Because it is what it is. It's a big circus, right? In that you have one or two people who involved in there are no cricket people involved in this. I understand that they ask a gentleman who, former current cricketer, he still plays cricket, to play a coordinating role. But there are no experienced cricket administrators involved in this thing, right? This is really a political show being put on by our Prime Minister.
To target you?
To copy me.
I mean to copy
To copy and compete with me. That is simply it. One, most people would credit me with the success of the VPL. And if you look at this tournament that they're looking to have, it is a version that they're trying. You could see they're trying. If you look at the names, you could see they're trying to copy VPL, right? So it is an effort to, and some I take comfort out of knowing that I'm inspiring Dr. Gonsalves and his cronies, right? But the reality is, and my problem with this mainly is that you're using state resources, Bing, to put on this festival, this circus, and you're going to, in a very disingenuous way, take advantage of the legends of West Indies cricket, the same people who you know, responsible for our legacy. You're going to use them for your own political motive. I mean, this fella would go to the lowest to be re-elected. But that is no surprise because the fella has that obsession with power. But if you look at this, and let's talk about this. And I've gone back to talk about what has been done with sports in this country and cricket in this country. Nothing. But yet you're going to spend at least $500,000. And this circus, right, for 4 days. You know, about 4 years ago, and the Minister of Tourism, all of a sudden he's Minister of Tourism and Minister of Sports together. I don't know what to do with the real Minister of Sports, because the Minister of Tourism, all of a sudden he is Sports Minister now, talking on behalf of sports and executing sports tournaments, right? 4 years ago, Bing, when we were executing VPL, we engaged the same Minister of Tourism and invited him and his ministry to be involved in the VPL. What did they do? How did they respond? Absolutely nothing. But yet, you're going to come and put on a cricket festival? Something resemblance of the VPL? So in essence, what you're doing is competing with VPL.
Yes.
But not only competing, because there's a bigger issue here that they I don't know, because they haven't engaged any cricket administrators, then they don't realize that this is because they have gone on the fella who doesn't even understand tourism and he wants to get involved in sport now. He's talking about this is going to be the biggest cricket festival in the Caribbean. Now I would tell you, that is trespassing on CPL. And it cannot be sanctioned as a tournament. There are no other tournament in the Caribbean from 10 to 30 overs that could be held in the Caribbean without sanction and the corporation of
Because
CPL.
that was my next question. What are the bylaws? What it says about holding these tournaments?
The
with
reality
regards
is that for domestic tournament, which is including only local players, then fine. And even that, you need some clearance because we had to get clearance for VPL.
But I understand that they would, according to the information I've received, that there will be some foreign players coming in.
And that is the point. And foreign players cannot participate in it unless it is sanctioned, or else they will be subjected to ban from international cricket. But again, if you don't engage cricket administrators, you won't know these things. You won't know these things. It is a circus, Bing. I told you it is a circus, and we are squandering Vincentians hard on money for this event. And you know this sad thing about it, just where they're going to have the event out there, you know, and they're going to have it on the weekend. This fella is losing his mind, you know. I tell you, our Prime Minister is losing his mind. Bing, do you know that on the same weekend, we have the Windwards Games? We have the Windwards Game, and this is going to be the 100th anniversary of the Windwards Games. With all these players, the Windwards Game is responsible for producing the Kirani James, Alfred, who just won the gold for St. Lucia, even our own Maloney, Robin, and all the other athletes in the Windward Islands. The Windwards Games, they are the ones responsible for that, for those players, those athletes. And we are having that same weekend. The government has not, in any meaningful way, assisted with us hosting the Windwards Game here. But instead, they're putting on the circus to compete with the Windwards Game. All because of political motive and an obsession of power.
All right, let's backtrack. Let's go back a bit. Let's look at the formalities. Cricket West Indies, you're at the top. Windward Islands, SVG Cricket Association. You cannot stand here and tell me that you've not been reached out to, officially or unofficially, to be part of discussion, ideas, or to sanction this, your word, not mine, circus that is going to happen. Is that the case?
Political circus. Add political in front of that. Political circus. Bing, what? You know how I found out about this thing? It is couple players who they reach out to participate in the reach out to me and ask if what tournament is going to happen in St. Vincent, because they have been approached.
Regional players?
Regional
outside
players.
of St. Vincent?
Yes. And saying and asking if it's a sanctioned tournament. I had no choice on telling them, but I don't know about this tournament. Because the truth is, at the time, I had no clue what they're talking about. Right? And then someone who had a bit more information, who was reached out to by one of the coordinators, you know, explained to me what they're trying to coordinate here. And for me, it became a joke. But then the gentleman you refer to, actually, we won't call his name, who actually had this plan, because he reached out to me about 2-3 years ago with this idea.
Yep.
Right? And he called me, and the man, you could tell on the phone, he was almost in tears, Bing.
Same thing with me.
He was almost in tears because he has conceptualized this thing, and he knows the process, because he reached out to me as someone who is involved with VPL, understanding the potential conflict, right, and acts and so on. And so he got ideas from me and others how he could go around it, and he had his ideas and this set for the middle of the second week in August.
The 9th. What I gathered from him and his grouping is that these guys, because he had to submit an application to the Sports Council, he had to made other application, and they have just taken his ideas.
Apparently they have just stolen his ideas. Stole his ideas.
Is intellectual property.
Yeah.
Right? And just say, you know what? Let's take this and grab it and do it. What do you have to say? I mean, is there anything that can be done with regards to this? Or, as they say, you can't fight the government?
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate for the gentleman, and he has accepted that he will, he's very hot at this stage. And I mean, he could take it up legally. I'm sure there's some attorneys in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who will gladly explore it for him.
Right.
But from a Cricket West Indies perspective,
You can't
there's
anything.
nothing we can't.
Well, okay. But with regards to the the cricket circus, as you've labeled it, any regional players or international players that comes into play in this tournament can, and there's a possibility that they can be banned from playing cricket internationally?
Well, one, Cricket West Indies, we could potentially be called into conflict with our agreement with CPL if we allow any unsanctioned tournament, any tournament between 10 and 20 overs, right, to be played in this regional space, right? And so, if you're having, according to the Minister of Tourism / Sports, the biggest cricket festival in the Caribbean with international players, that is a conflict. That is competing with CPL, who is around the window. CPL starts next month as well.
Wow.
Right? So GSL, there's Ghana Super League that's being played. They had to go through a whole process, which took months upon months, including CWI and ICC. Because remember, these days you're talking about anti-corruption and all these different things involved in these tournaments. But because when you're running a circus, big, then anything at play, anything happen. And this is where our state has reached, you know. This is where our state has reached, where people feel they could do anything and get away with it. Led by our Prime Minister. This is a glaring example, Bing. And let me say, and the last thing we could probably say on this thing, I understand that the intention, making a mockery of the legends, that he is going to fly them in and he is going to honor them and whatever. Our Prime Minister is so disingenuous. It is not even funny. 2016, Bing. 2016, the same Candyman made reference to us winning World Cups. 2 World Cups. 3 World Cups we won then in 2016. Right? Do you know, Bing, that we had 2 Vincentians as part of the winning under-19 team? Gideon Pope and Obed McCoy on that team. Ask the Prime Minister what has he done for those 2 young men. Every single other player of the World Cup under-19 team, every single one of them was rewarded significantly from the governments across the region. Grenada, Ryan John got house and land and money. What did Gideon Pope and Obed McCoy receive from this government? Under this Prime Minister, who is currently claiming to care so much about West Indies cricket. I mean, it's hypocritical.
Something was just sent to me, but brought to my attention that the CPL is fully on board and has sanctioned the cricket tournament.
That is absolutely rubbish. These are Muddy Circus?
Yes.
That is absolutely rubbish.
The Emancipation Cricket Tournament that CPL has sanctioned.
I am saying
and they
to you,
are
Big,
on board with it.
It is absolutely rubbish.
How do you know that?
Because we have not received anything from CPL suggesting such. And the process don't be reversed like that. You don't go straight to CPL, right? You go to West Indies, who is the full member here, who is responsible for this. You make an application to in fact, they don't even know about CPL involvement because they don't have any experience with executing tournaments like this. So it has to be, anybody come and tell you that now they're lying. Blatant lies, as usual. Right? I know they can't fool you. And they can't fool Vincentians. They have done it for some years, but no more. The Vincentian people, they are now awake. And by and large, a significant majority of Vincentians are waiting patiently on the election's date.
Why? Another reason for bringing on this tournament, this Emancipation Tournament, your word circus. is also because you, meaning Cricket West Indies, have done such a poor job in honoring the legends who were part of the first unofficial world champions, the World Cup. That you've done such a poor job at it, that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines see the need to do this. What do you say?
Again, right, this is when Prime Minister Gonzalez put his foot in his mouth. Prematurely came out firing like in the wild, wild west. Typical of him these days, right? And then he realized that he made a major mess of himself, not only locally, but regionally and internationally. It was so shameful. I felt embarrassed for him. Because had he even been in tune, he would have realized that there was an event being planned. An event, had he called right across Barbados to his esteemed colleague, Prime Minister Motley, he would have realized that this was something in the pipeline for some time. This is not something that could be coordinated in weeks, Bing. This was in planning since last year, where we had an established committee for it. The event that we had for the legends, it was ask anyone who attended, ask anyone who viewed it online. They would tell you it is the best event ever held, best award ceremony ever held, certainly by Cricket West Indies, and probably best in the entire region history. Bringing those legends together and honoring them, it took great effort. And it was so heartening that I would tell you that Alvin Kalitaran, one of our greats who was there at the event. I remember being on the platform with him because I handed them their awards. And the gentleman was in tears, Bing. They all at some point was so emotional about being honored, right? That they were brought to tears because it wasn't just an award, you know. We had almost a 1 week celebration with the legends where we brought them to Barbados. They actually went, there was a women's game on the Sunday and the Monday. They attended the game and supported the ladies. Sir Clive and the others went and engaged, celebrated with the women after they won the series against South Africa. Then they went to the first day of the test match against Australia. So we had them, they even attended, like I mentioned already, they attended a board meeting. So it was a full week of activities celebrating with these legends. But Bing, let me put this again into context. When we won that 1975 World Cup, Bing, I was nowhere on this planet. Yeah. Right? Even the first decade of celebration, I was just born. And if you're saying that if him want to criticize Cricket West Indies for not honoring them, he was the chair of CARICOM subcommittee on cricket. Why he didn't bring it up then? Sir Clive West Hall was a president of Cricket West Indies in 2000. But it was most fitting to celebrate the 50th anniversary, which the current board, along with West Indies Players Association and other key stakeholders, decided that let us come together at this point and honor them. And I could tell you, Bing, that every last one of those legends greatly appreciated that sincere initiative.
Okay.
To honor
So you just said it's a current board along with other associations. So it wasn't really the Cricket West Indies who put off this event, because I heard that it was tacked on to WIFA. WIPA, the West Indies Players Association. So the event belonged to who?
The initiative was the expense. We incur the full expense of the event.
But the idea came from who?
From Kishore Shallow. In conversation, and it was inspired by Sir Andy Roberts. I recall when I was president of Windows Cricket Board, we had brought across Sir Andy to Grenada to spend some time with our fast bowlers. And while him and I, we had dinner, and we were just talking about cricket and me learning about the history of our cricket and so on, and even back then. And he mentioned to me then that team was never recognized. that in a formal way they were never recognized. And in my mind, I didn't make any commitment to Sir Andy, but I left the conversation thinking we have to do something for these guys. And it was about 2 to 3 years ago I met with Sir Andy and he update. And since then is when I went back to my board and I said, listen, there's the opportunity coming for the 50th anniversary. At the time, we had to, because this thing is costly, so we had to take time to ensure we budget for it and all that, and that is how it manifests. We're not Wild West, Bing. We do operate like some, right, where we have to plan and we take our time. So not because Kishore Shalon Cricket West Indies executed at the event, no boy, we have to match that at least. We have to come good until we put on a circus. That is not how we operate.
Do you know of or if any of the legends will be participating in this event?
The legends are respectful, and if a prime minister reaches out and invite them to attend a function to honor them, they're obviously going to try to attend. And so most of them respectfully, once they receive that invitation and they're able, I expect them to attend.
Okay. And as president of Cricket West Indies, how do you feel not being present at a function which is honoring legends of West Indies cricket and cricketing all over, who are all over across the globe, West Indies cricketers, in your backyard in St. Vincent, and not being present? First of all, have you been extended an invitation?
I haven't been invited, but I could tell you, Bing, because of the political motive of this circus, I am not going to be part of that. I am not going to be part of anything that is going to be using, attempting to use our legends of West Indies cricket who have worked so hard to build our legacy. I can't find myself being any part of that. And there's some people who are currently being used for this, and they know who they are, right? And it is up to them. There are a couple of persons who would actually ask to get involved, like as a last minute invitation to come and help them card it when they realize they don't know what they're doing. And basic and mere principle.
Hold on, caller, hold on.
They said they're not getting involved in this thing.
Okay, so you're saying if you were to be invited, you will not go?
Bing, there's a launch of the event this evening. I understand there's a launch somewhere. I don't know where it is. I haven't received an invitation.
Will you go?
Bing, listen. The fact that there's an event happening this evening, right, a launch, and I haven't received an invitation, do you think I'm going to be invited? So what is the point of me even answering a question if I am not going to be invited?
Yeah, but if at the official, this is the official
I will be supporting
honoring of the legends.
I will be supporting the Windwards games come that weekend.
The official honoring of the legends on our emancipation weekend, that you are sent an invitation as president from the office to the office of the president of Cricket West Indies. You're saying to me that you will not go.
Bing, I am saying to you that on that very same weekend, I will be supporting the Windwards Games, who are celebrating their 100th anniversary. And it is not too late for the Prime Minister to do right and support that initiative, right? In some way or form, hopefully something significant and substantial, right? For him to support them. As it relates to that event, because of the motive behind that event, which is purely political, I will not be attending.
Political to?
Prime Minister trying to score political points because of his shameful act of coming out prematurely to talk about Cricket West Indies not honoring these legends and to try and save face. I am not going to be part of that.
All right, let's take a call. Caller, good morning, you're live.
Good morning to the Honorable Dr. Kishore Shalom.
Good morning, good morning.
Man, not in Parliament yet. Don't call him man.
Good morning, sir.
Don't call him man, not in Parliament.
Shady morning.
Call me by my proper title. Give me my proper handle too.
So being, how are you?
Thank you very much. That's better. Yeah, there we go. Give me some round of applause. Give me some round of applause. Good morning, my brother. Yes. Let's go quickly. Let's go.
Dr. Shalom, you have done well And I stand 10 toes down and 2 heels with you, man. Listen, number one, I listened to a commentary this morning that I was expecting, and I smiled and I laughed. And I see Candyman finally found a little squeak to come on. But when I heard him this morning, I said to somebody, because I was at Heritage Square listening, and I said, I bet you that when he's finished, he's going to run. I was not disappointed. And we know that what he did there this morning was not his. So I'm coming to say this. What you said, that exactly is what happened. They made this political. All of this, what they're talking about here, about you being a failure, about this and that, it's all purely political. Let's bring it home. Candyman stated that since you are the head of Cricket West Indies, your head should roll for what happened here. I guess they had a crystal ball to show that the boys were going to do badly yesterday. So they had all of this, I guess, prepared to come at you. I wonder if they had won that game yesterday, what the commentary would have been this morning. The thing is, the Prime Minister, his mouthpieces and so forth are ready to chop your head off because you are head of Cricket West Indies. Everything should be laid at your feet. So let's bring it home. How is it that the Prime Minister all of a sudden blaming you now for this? He blamed Mitchell back then and Toussaint for crime and drugs in St. Vincent, but somehow he's exempt from the same measure. And I want somebody to answer me this. How is he now exempt from the same measure? The said mouthpieces and supporters try to run and say, oh, but he's not responsible for crime. He's not responsible for drugs. He's not responsible for the economy not growing. Oh, people lazy. Who then should we blame? I said this morning, Candyman is digging a hole and he's not even realizing that he's digging a hole this morning when he came to talk. They are the ones who made this political because if it wasn't you, Dr. Shallow, who was head of Cricket West Indies and doing your do, he said you threw everybody under the bus this morning. I'm waiting to see where. Because you made the valid points that at the end of the day, Ralph Gonsalves was chairman of CARICOM and chairman of basically Cricket West Indies, being able to have a hand in all of this. What did he do for the time that he was there? And as you said, and we are seeing right here in St. Vincent, grassroots sports has been kicked to the front, not just cricket. You have all of these community playing fields being there and locked up. And so, what are they pouring into making cricket and other sports livable here in St. Vincent? Who is making a proper livable wage from sports in St. Vincent except the few guys who have made it to West Indies cricket? So at the end of the day, when they pointing fingers, point good, and you said something there just now, and I don't blame you. And I know from a political standpoint, you have to know, be the politician. So I'll speak for you. If they invite you anywhere today for tomorrow, don't go. As we say here, late invitation is for dogs. You have something like that being planned. It wasn't planned today for tomorrow. And as you said, it's all political. All of these things here, this cricket something here where they're trying to do, him talking about going to give more money because what Cricket West Indies gave to the legends is a joke. What did he do before? Why did he not say, as chairman of CARICOM before, say, you know what, we need to honor these men. 25 years. You are there in your role for what, 3 years? And in the same way that they're equating and saying, oh, at the end of the day, you have been there and for 3 years and you did nothing and it got worse. Okay, let me bring it home back now. Ralph Gonsalves and the ULP have been in office here. And hey, they like to talk about coming and meeting a bad hand. You met a bad hand. We know that you met a bad hand. Cricket, West Indies cricket has been going down, trending down for years. For years. The thing is that the ULP and Ralph came and met St. Vincent Green. They came and met money in surplus in our treasury. Now we have deficit of hundreds of millions of dollars plus money that cannot be found as per the audits. So who is worse in managing? 25 years and he could not turn St. Vincent around on a proper trajectory to a proper economy. But you want to come and say that in 3 years you are supposed to turn West Indies cricket around in full. The thing is, we saw where the bowlers have done their due. They have done their due.
Okay, buddy, we got lots of calls backing up. Okay.
All right, brother. So here's the thing before I go. Dr. Honorable Dr. Kishore Shallow, don't make Bing try to shake your feathers this morning.
Well, that's what I just do. I see some online. I'm going to give them one dose of cussing when I come off. What in the end? Let me call out.
I'll say it for you. I'll say it for you again, my brother. Yeah, they invited today for tomorrow. Don't go the outer place.
I'll take your advice. I'll take any advice on that. I'm not going. But I want to comment.
Leroy Patterson, I'll fix you when you. Is he that one there? I'll deal with you. I'll fix you properly when you come. Yeah, go ahead. Before you make your point, we got lots of calls being backing up. Caller, good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Contumelious disregard.
Contumelious disregard for the people who are trying to destroy cricket. It took years to build up West Indies cricket to where it was in its heyday. It did not move overnight. And similarly, it didn't just break down overnight. School cricket, club cricket, regional cricket has all fallen off significantly. When West Indies was strong, our regional cricket was strong. Our club cricket in the islands was strong. Our school cricket was strong. We have seen a significant falling off from that. I don't know what is the reason for that. Take, for example, Bing and Dr. Shallow. And good morning to you, Dr. Shallow. Sorry about that. And good morning, Shady.
Morning, my brother.
Look at Kingston. Where in Kingston proper? From Monkey Hill Bridge all the way around to St. Andrews, come around to Rockies and things. We have one of the highest per capita in terms of population. But we don't have a single ground in that region where cricket can be played. So you're telling me that you're looking for strong players, but your competition is weakening. We have players playing in 8 games per season, 8 games. But we want to come up against Australia and beat them, where they're playing 20 and 30 games per season. In England, where they have 20 and 30 games per season. We have to look at that. We have to look at our development. We can't just look at pointing fingers. West Indies cricket didn't reach to the 27 yesterday overnight. It has been coming. We could have seen it coming. And we need to look at how we are going to develop, what plans are we going to put in place to develop our grassroots, to make our school cricket strong again, to make our club cricket strong again. We can't just look at West Indies board and point a finger. It's all we. You have some people I see making criticism. They don't know where to throw the bat is from the shoulder. They don't know which part the bat is the handle. But they have all kind of things to say.
Blessing James.
All kind of things to say. They never bowl a lime in their life. But they have all the solutions. And when you go to them begging them for 25 cents to help with the development of cricket, they never have it. They have nothing to contribute.
Thank you,
so we have to look at building our cricket. Dr. Shadow, I empathize with you. I feel bad, It hurt me. Yesterday when I look at the scope, when I am checking, I had football training, and I know when I left it was 1 for 1 or something like that. When I look, I see 27 and I saying, like, rain come. When I look at the bottom and I realize we lost the game, I said, Jesus, Lord of mercy. I couldn't believe it. But sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you start to rise to the top. You have to hit rock bottom. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work. It's hard. I know it is hard for a lot of fans, and everybody can run them out and things, but we need to look at what is happening before even that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you, man. Let me deal with something before I take the other call, before I get back to it. Allow me. Let me get him to my back. Blessed James, whoever you are, you hiding behind your keyboard like a piano. Ulrich Leroy Patterson, clearly you don't understand radio, media, and interviewing. You as dumb as a doorbell. My job here is not to talk, to give PR to Dr. Shallow, and he knows that. That's why he comes here. My job here is to bring out the information from Dr. Shallow. So whether you don't want to hear or you don't like a question I asked Dr. Shallow, you know what to do. Yeah, how much radio station did send me to? Switch off. Run, please. As well, don't listen to me. Go. You're too stupid. I don't want stupid people listening to me. You go blight OMG, and boom. Ulrich and Blessed James, move. These are 5 for you. Let's go to the call. Sorry. 5 for them. I'm sure people there. Good morning, caller, you're live. Call, good morning, you're live. Yes, good morning, you're live.
Hey, good morning, Bing.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Shallow.
Morning, brother.
What's up, me brother? I want to let Candyman know, right, that over the years, we've been suffering from playing field in North Leeward. We have one playing field in North Leeward, and that is in Cumberland. Wow. The Prime Minister actually killed cricket in Leeward. Well, he and Carlos James. Right? And I remember when they opened Cumberland, he said to us that everyone in the playing field where there's a hydro station will be light. And we're still waiting. You understand? We're still waiting. Dr. Shallow, thank you for coming to the people of North Leeward and let them know that we will be battling with you come election day in Leeward. Stay strong, my brother.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Can I respond to that?
Yeah, thanks, Gala. As you mentioned Cumberland there, right? Being one of the last things I did as president of SVGC, that's St. Vincent Against Cricket Association. Yes. And I remember, Andrew Bramley, you don't mind me calling his name. I remember for years he would come to AGM and say, we need hard court and nets at these grounds across St. Vincent Against so youngsters could go and play. We put a nets at Cumberland playing field so that people could go on afternoons or mornings, whenever time of the day, before it dark, because they ain't lights as the caller just said, and practice day. Do you know, Bing, that the facility in Cumberland by probably by 4:30, 5 o'clock latest in the afternoon, it is closed.
What?
It is closed. So that
who controls that facility? Is it
well,
the National Lottery or is it the
National Lottery?
National Lottery.
And even if it's, I'm not blaming the employee there because they could only do what they're told to do, right? What the policy is,
the policy
right?
position.
But it is locked up. So the youngsters, the same youngsters I mentioned earlier, they can't access the nets anymore. I mean, how foolish is that? If you have youngsters going to school or even people who walk in, how can you get to the facility before 4:30 to practice on the facility? So the nets that we constructed, it is there being totally underutilized.
Do you know if this problem is specific to St. Vincent and the Grenadines only?
I could safely say it is worse
in St. Vincent.
In St. Vincent. It is at the worst state in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Let's take another call. Caller, good morning, you're live.
Yeah, Dwight, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Brother Shallow, good morning. Kish, my brethren, my brother. This is Fitz Bramble here.
Good morning, Fitz.
Morning.
I ain't staying long because I like how Kish batting, so I don't want to think. But just a couple of quick points I want to make, Bing. Mm-hmm. The first thing is, you see this emancipation celebration cricket thing they're having? That was the brainchild of a very young entrepreneur promoter.
I know. It came to me.
I wish you had delved into it a little bit more, because the thief the man idea, and not only did the thief the idea, but they made the cost so prohibitive for him to use the field, and they're gonna want and the coming. But what is interesting to me is that you talking about having a cricket competition on the weekend of Emancipation Day, right? But you are displaying what I would consider to be the biggest manifestation of mental slavery. Because you have a man who we call the Prime Minister of this country, simply because he is upset that a brother, a young, progressive, bright, futuristic-looking brother in Dr. Kishore Shallow, because he has expressed his liberty to align himself with a political coloration, for lack of a better term, with a political party, you're going after him like if he's nobody. A brother of pure African descent. You understand me? If Kish was a candidate for the ULP, I guarantee you this conversation would not have been happening. Guarantee. You understand? So Vincentians need to wake up, and I'm glad we're waking up and people seeing right through all of this. Right through all of this. I ain't going to get into none of the other issues with the West Indies cricket, but I wanted to make the point that it is very shameful, to say the least, that our Prime Minister is going down this road. But in a sense, I am glad he's going down this road because in a few months, probably in a few weeks, he will get the reward that he deserves. Continue the good work, my brother. You don't know.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother Fitz.
No, I want to follow up on the point that MP Bramble made, which I made earlier on, and for those who would have missed it, I know because an outreach was made to me to have promotion done on this station for the very same festival which permission was already granted from the National Sports Council and other institution within the government arm, giving him permission to have this exact same thing. And I've always heard it being said that, boy, if you go to certain banks, certain institution, you care certain proposals, they go take it and they go thief it and they go implement it. Well, I've experienced it for myself because I've seen it. I know it for a fact firsthand because this gentleman came to me with the exact same thing. Now the government of St. Vincent is having it and calling it an Emancipation Festival. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller on the WhatsApp. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, speak.
Good morning.
Could you project a little bit, please? You're sounding a bit low.
Okay, I got all my volume up, please.
Okay, all right, cool. Let's go with it then.
Better?
You're very low, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it. Let's go.
All right. Good morning, Bing, and good morning to you, Dr. Kishan, Shalom, and everybody else.
Morning.
Now, I am irritated because of the whole situation about what is happening. And, you know, it makes me feel bad for a young man who was born at least 10 years after this World Cup, Cricket World Cup, West Indies win the first Cricket World Cup. And to see he has risen to such a level and to see the country that he rises in, the leader of the country is pulling him down worse than you do a mangy dog on the street of St. Vincent the Grenadines. And it shows how low that this Prime Minister continues to go because he does it with everybody. He did it with Mr. Mitchell before he died. He did it with Mr. Eustace. He's doing it with Dr. Friday, and he's doing it with Dr. Shallow and others and many others. But I want to say this to Dr. Shallow and to you, Bing, and all your listeners. Dr. Shallow is responsible. He's the president of Cricket West Indies. And according to the Prime Minister, Cricket West Indies gone down. And Shallow is to blame. I want to ask the question. Who is to blame for the failure of Liat Airways airline? When Ralph Gonsalves was the head of that airline, the governments of that airline, he came up to New York and he made this big spread at Friends of Crown Heights, 671 Prospect Place with pictures and all kind of thing. How Liat was going to be flying into North America when they changed to the ATR airline. Where is Liat today? So if Dr. Kishan Shallow, should go, tell me, who should go for Liat? I rest my case.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's take a final one, and then I'll get back to some more questions to you. Caller, good morning. You're live. All right, take that one too quick. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Good day, Brother Bing, and greetings, my brother. I just want to say something here, which might sound controversial, but I agree everything with what Candyman is saying. Because what Candyman is saying here might seem political, but he is very clear that here you have a man who say he loved Vincentians. He loved the people of North Leeward. But you don't understand that when you devote your time with West Indies cricket, because look, you haven't said one thing about the suffering of Vincentian people and what we go through day by day.
Mr. Hamilton, we are speaking cricket.
I am saying cricket.
Hold on, please. There have been many other times when Dr. Shallow came in here and spoke specifically about the politics, the people of not just North Leeward,
but
but of
Bing,
St.
but-
Vincent.
but-
No, but
and
let
Grenadines.
me
So
let me
it is-
say
let me do it. But it is unfair for you
No,
to come here
I am
this morning.
supporting Candyman.
Okay.
No, I'm supporting Candyman.
Listen to me.
That's
Listen to me. Hold on,
what
hold on,
we
hold on, hold on,
what
hold
we
on.
have is a very falling away cricket.
No.
What we
Don't
have is
change
a
the topic.
situation whereby
Let's don't
either
change the topic, please. Let's don't change the topic. We're dealing with cricket this morning, all right? And Dr. Shallow will come back at another time. Dr. Shallow is specifically to speak about something that is important and dear to the hearts of people of the Caribbean. Listen, we've got 2 radio stations in Grenada that's carrying us live, this interview live. Okay? So I don't want to get into that right now. So let's go.
Yeah, Bing.
Yeah, go ahead. Got the phone lines going again. Let's take this other call. I still want to get in with one more thing before we go. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Hi, good morning, Bing.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Shallow.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shady. Ever since Dr. Keisha Shallow triggered the Prime Minister's cacophophobia, his fear of rejection.
Cacophophobia, let me write that down.
Well, give credit to Chester Connell, my teacher.
He's listening.
They have been trying at every turn to throw any and everything at Dr. Shallow, including the proverbial kitchen sink. And what we are going to witness on the weekend of Emancipation Day is just another quixotic attempt, in my opinion, by the 2 persons who stands to lose the most to Dr. Shallow's candidacy to arrest the rising tide of support in North Leeward and throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the New Democratic Party. Let us not forget that just prior to the World Cup, in Parliament, the man standing next to you, Bing, was singled out for praise, not vitriol, as we see today. This event is also going to be being built as the largest sports tourism event in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let us not forget that the man standing in the studio next to you, Bing, was responsible for one of the largest, if not the largest, sports tourism event coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, being the Cricket World Cup. And if you don't believe me, check the economic impact report by the ICC and see how much US dollars was generated in St. Vincent and the Grenadines because of Cricket World Cup. So what we are seeing here is just a desperate effort by a group of desperate people to turn the tide, as I said, away from what is inevitably going to happen when the bell is rung. And this morning I listened with interest to Candyman, and he lavished praise on Juan Carlos. But absent from those praises, from that praise, was anything having to do with North Leeward. He praised him as a minister of tourism. Dr. Shallow understands, and I know he would. I won't speak for him, but I would venture to just mention it. I know he fully understands that when he is elected, his elementary responsibility would be to the people of North Leeward, not as a minister of government. And that is what he's seeking to do. Turn around the fortunes of the people of North Leeward who have been rejected and sidelined for far too long. So people like me on the outside looking in, we can see it clearly for what it is that Ralph and Carlos and all of the others are doing. Dr. Shallow, keep up your good work, man. Keep your head up. Keep your head held high. You have accomplished much, and you stand on the precipice of accomplishing even more as a representative and as a minister of government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I think the people of North Leeward stands to be better for your representation.
Thank you, my brother.
Blessings on everybody.
Thanks, man.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit. Let me move as we wrap up, as we get to wrapping up. So I don't know if I'm going to take any more calls. You, during a meeting recently in North Leeward, made comments to the tune of saying that the carnival that was this year's carnival, I don't want to use the word worse, if that's the word that you use, was not much better off of any of the carnival that we have seen before. In other words, it was one of the worst carnival.
No, I didn't say that. Let me
I'm
clarify
saying
that. Let me clarify that, Bing.
Yeah. What exactly did you say?
And as I did it at Spring Village
Yes.
last Thursday, I congratulated all the winners
Right.
for the different categories. I also commended the work of the management at CDC. I hope they owe you no money this time around, Bing. I hope they pay. I hope before they have the circus, they pay people, right? Because I don't know where that money coming from yet. But anyhow, let me continue. I also commended the private promoters.
You did.
And I stand here today and I repeat that thank God for the private promoters for making Carnival what it was. And I went further to say that this is still no reason to celebrate this Carnival because it is still below average. I didn't say it was the worst. I said it is below the average of, and I'm speaking in context to what exists across the region again. And I also speak in the context that we can do far better. Now, let us look at the carnival. Let us look at it quickly because we don't have much time. Private events, and I didn't attend much, I observed them and so on, but, I don't go like you, Bing, right? But we observe. I went to, and I look at the social media and I see people and I got feedback. People had a wonderful time, especially at the private events. And Soca Monarch. I went to the Calypso finals, Bing, on the Sunday night at Victoria Park. And the place was scanty. Now, you remember what Calypso used to be back in the day, Bing? Now, if the Calypso in its current form, and if you're going to celebrate Carnival, then what you're saying is that you're discounting the value of Calypso finals? Now, anyone who look at that Calypso final from there, there's no young person, no young talent would be inspired to get involved in Calypso based on that. But even further, when you look at the production of the stage in itself, even for Soca Monarch, Bing, you've been promoting this thing for years, it is worse, right? Well, let me not say it is not as good as the Soca Monarch used to be back then when you and Benji and the others were involved, right? And this is 2025. There's no excuse for that. And the reason why I do not blame the administrators, the CDC management, Rodney and the others who have done a great job based on the limited support and resources they have, is because I know these fellas. I know that they want to do better and they understand better standards. But it is because we have a prime minister who doesn't understand anything about modern day culture and festivals. Why we are at that stage? That was the simple point I was making. And the Minister of Tourism as well. I mean, the fellow is so ignorant and arrogant that he himself doesn't understand. And because he can't just humble himself a little bit, he would never be able to appreciate this. Let me take this to North Leeward because the Minister of Tourism and Culture and wherever else is from North Leeward and he's the representative of North Leeward. Look at the North Leeward Festival this year. The best event we had in North Leeward this year was one called Brunch on the Beach. Right? A Soca on the Beach. I think it was Brunch on the Beach. Right? I mean, that event received major fight from the Minister and the Ministry of Sports and Culture.
You mean to make
to
it
block
happen?
it? The promoters went through the process months in advance. And it was a mere 3 or so days before, following a letter from me to the permanent secretary of that ministry.
Wow.
For that event to take place. And you should see this event. High standard. So when we talk about the success of Carnival and celebrating, I mean, for somebody who understands standards. I attended the music festival in St. Kitts recently. That is standard. Right? I've seen the jazz festival in St. Lucia. That is high standards.
I was in conversation. I've got this chat with these two fools, Grant and Steve joking. And on Sunday night, I was up looking at the Calypso finals in Trinidad, in St. Lucia. And we were like, wow.
Production.
Look at the production quality of the Calypso finals. It was on Saturday night. Yes, it was on Saturday night. Not on Sunday. They have it different. So they was on Saturday night. And the turnout, the amount of people that was at the venue, I mean, we were blown away when we saw that. And we like, how did this happen? Like where?
And if you look at if you listen, Bing, to the content, you know, I mean, our calypsos this year were great. I mean, some excellent pieces. So we do have the talent, but when you have, and we're not even gonna go into the reward, the price, monies, and so on, because listen, $60,000 for the Soca Monarch is ridiculous at this stage, right? And that money that they give into the Calypso is a joke as well. And these are things that with a new Democratic Party, I am sure we are going to address them and increase. These could be doubled instantly. If you're going to waste money on a circus, why you don't pay the people them properly? All right? Prioritize the country, Bing. Prioritize intentions and stop prioritizing your obsession with power.
Oh, yeah, stop calling people them things circus. It's a fet match.
It is fet match. It's a fet match. It's a circus. You know who does lead circus, right? Who does lead circus?
Comics. It's the same thing being done with soccer as well too. We see the same sort of initiative.
Interestingly, you mentioned football. I remember when we played against Jamaica here and we drew the game 1-1. I actually called on the government then to make a contribution to the footballers of $500,000 so they could be on a bit of a retainer so that they could focus on the training, because we have incredible talent in football. Right, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But the fellas don't receive. You know the government, I mean, coming back to this government is ridiculous, you know. Even for the tickets for those games, they still owe the SVG Football Federation for. The tickets. So you're going to invest in this thing again, right? But yet you owe tickets, you know. For tickets, the government still owes the SVG Football Federation for these games, right? You cannot even, in Barbados and St. Lucia, and we're talking about, government's contribution and so on. Prime Minister Martley hosted a football cup, a semi-professional league football club for the footballers. It was a major success. She recently advised me that she's going to have a similar competition for cricket, called Cricket from the Block or something, to encourage young boys and girls from the block to play cricket and get involved in sports. That is leadership. Prime Minister Pear in St. Lucia, he had a similar football cup, semi-professional league. He just had a semi-professional cricket league as well. That is leadership. I am sure Prime Minister Mitchell has similar things in plan for Grenada. Right? Because you should see the stadium. We just had the test match day. Wonderful. He himself has an academy in his constituency. That is leadership. But the gentleman we have here, who has been there for a quarter of a century, all he does is talk and talk and talk with little action, but expect Vincentians to accept that below par, that subpar performance from leadership.
Okay, I'll go back. I'll end where we started. Where do we go from here with regards to West Indies cricket? Clearly, the mud have gathered. No heads will be rolled.
If the technical people come back to me and say that we need a shift in personnel, I would support them. But you cannot just roll it.
You will support
if the as I mentioned to you earlier,
if you advise.
I have asked the cricket committee
of
the technical heads, including on that committee, you have Dr. Desmond Haynes, Dr. Shivnarin Chandapal, Ian Bratcher, and a few other former players already on that committee. I have invited Brian Lara, Sir Viv Richards, and Sir Clive Lloyd to sit in with this meeting and with this process of review this recent series performance. And I await their feedback and advice on how we proceed from here. Right? That is responsible leadership. That is reasonable. That is practical. Right? We're not in the Wild West. In fact, years ago, Dave Cameron, when he was president, we had a poor woman series, and he fired every one of the management. Our cricket for female went down, immediately collapsed after that. We cannot be impulsive and irrational. That is not how I operate. Right? That is the leadership.
Come Shady, give some love.
You know, and the composure that you have to exhibit with the leadership. Right? Now, being in terms of the way forward, when I sit and I have an office, I think somebody mentioned recently, I have an office at Prospect.
I was gonna ask. Do we have a
Bing, you know, ironically, you know where the office is, Bing?
I know.
It is exactly where you used to be. Right? It is a commercial space that is rented by Cricket West Indies for the president, because at Cricket West Indies, the president is entitled to have. I could have had the office in Barbados anywhere I want, but I choose to have it here in St. Vincent and Grenadines as a spot that is convenient for me. And that is it, in fact.
But why is that an issue though?
I don't know who wants to make it an issue. But was it Mr. Weeks who mentioned it?
Mr. Weeks mentioned
it. Mr. Weeks, please.
He asked the question.
Tell Mr. Weeks, in his interest, please ignore Kishore Shallow. It is you see, Mr. Weeks and I worked together. He was my permanent secretary of the Ministry. I have never once disrespected him. Never once. And I don't intend to either. But he cannot allow politics to cloud his judgment or his sight in this case. Tell him, please, ignore Kishore Shallow and focus on whatever else. But not. I don't want to have to go down that road with Mr. Weeks.
So, as of today, the next tournament for Cricket West Indies will be...
We are playing Australia immediately after. And Sunday is the All-Force T20 series. Start a 5-match T20 series against Australia. Then we go up against Pakistan for what's supposed to be 3 T20s and 3 ODIs. And then our next test series will be in India.
In India. Carl Hooper wonders about that. Like, how are we going to... You know, if we... he questions that. Like, what is going to happen with the Indian series?
The guys are going to prepare, obviously. Coach Darren Sami, I have all confident. I'm very confident that he is going to be the head coach going to India as well. And so it's between them and now is to have a plan. The key word, not that we are going to say, well, our bowling is there now, so we're going to relax with our bowling. Because I can tell you that every one of our bowlers, they are still trying to improve and get even better. Because the Australian bowlers didn't get where they are overnight. It was years of development and so on. But clearly, our batters need work. And because of the deficiencies at the lower level, we have to accelerate that at this level and give them far more attention. The challenge for us, though, quite frankly, because I had a discussion with my basketball director of cricket yesterday evening, is because there's no window where people blocked out in cricket these days for training. So just after this series, plenty of them are going to be playing T20.
Right.
So it's to find a window where they could actually go and focus on red ball cricket, preparing for test cricket. That is one of the challenges that
we have one coming up, emancipation.
The circus. Our players won't be in that circus, Bing. I can guarantee you that. Our players won't be in that circus.
Recently, I've read, and with AI these days, you just don't know what is real and what is not, that the coach of both the red ball and white ball, Darren Sami, West Indies, made comments about allegations of sexual allegations within
No. Let me stop it.
Yes.
There were some accusations against one of the players.
One of the players.
Right.
Yes.
And as I've said before, and I said it on different platforms because different
Right.
media houses reach out to me on it.
Yes. What's that all about?
Well, up to this point, Cricket West Indies has not received anything, whether informal or formal, a complaint against any of our players or any of our personnel. So at this point, we can't comment on it because we do not have anything.
But didn't you investigate through Darren to the coach as to what is this thing all about?
What we have seen, and I've spoken to Darren, I've spoken to the player and others involved in this whole who are being accused of this situation, and it is a situation where there's nothing, no evidence has been formed, or there has been no comment, nothing formal from us, sent to us, Cricket West Indies.
Formally.
Nothing. What we have seen really, and the coach, same Darren Sammy, and others, what we have seen is pretty much what is on social media. That is.
But he's saying, but he said it not in that way. He said that we all know of situations of allegations of sexual misconduct.
I can't recall seeing.
In those words,
I can't recall seeing that.
Right. Within the team. Now he didn't say whether it was a male team or female team. You said that you spoke.
I don't know,
to the
Darren.
individual.
I don't think that was Darren Sammy though. I think that's a different situation.
Okay, but you said you spoke to the individual. The individual. Is it a male?
No.
Or female?
In this case, I'm speaking about Bing. Right. I know there was some informal thing because a couple of people reach out to me naturally and ask me about this situation with a player.
Right.
And I've asked my internal counsel at Cricket West Indies, right? And we have communicated this, we have met and discussed this. We haven't received anything to suggest that there's a formal complaint. And so at this stage, we could only assume, based on what we see on social media, that these were just accusations and only that.
Okay.
And we can't comment any further.
You won't comment any further than that. Okay. Why do you think Prime Minister Gonsalves has it out for you so much? My final question, if I may say. He's really got it.
The only thing I will repeat is that I do not have a problem with the Prime Minister. He has a problem with me. Whatever that is, I hope it doesn't keep him up at nights. And that is all I would say. I sleep very comfortably.
But in the interest of the game, in the interest of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, how do you see this going? In the interest of the people of the region, Prime Minister Gonsalves speaks of the institutions of the Caribbean.
Listen, Prime Minister Gonsalves, by
UWI, West Indies, cricket,
let me tell you. Let me tell you. By the end of this year, the Prime Minister is going to have ample time to follow cricket.
Which means that
he's going to be in retirement at the end of this year, right? And he could watch cricket, he could comment on cricket, he could write on cricket as much as he wants. Right? Because once election date comes and people go to the poll, Vincentians are going to vote overwhelmingly to retire this Prime Minister.
I'm of the opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that Prime Minister Gonsalves made an overture to you to be part of his team, the ULP team, and you may have turned him down, or you may have accepted and changed your mind. Am I correct in any of those?
I have never accepted any invitation to be
a member
candidate. Even a member. I've never been a party card holder of the ULP. Never. Alright. And if the Prime Minister is peeved or hurt, disappointed. And let me be frank, Bing. I don't really think it's any of that, because this Prime Minister don't really care about people like that, I don't think it's a case of the Prime, and let me say it as it is. He simply sees me as a threat to his existence as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and Grenadines. And that is all it is. And his legacy probably of his son taking over the leadership of his party. And that is where the obsession is with me. It isn't because he's hurt by me not being a member of the party. He is simply realizing that his time is coming to an end. Because North Leeward people, they're going to vote significantly in my favor when the election is called. Everywhere you're going North Leeward now, Bing, because the people there have been hurt and disappointed for such a long time. Total neglect in North Leeward. I went through it on the platform in Spring Village. Coming up again, we have a few events where we could go through all those. Total neglect in North Leeward. And so the people there are ready to effect change because they know that the fellow who they have there is a representative now. He's all about himself and his ego. You know, an extension of the Prime Minister. They are all about self-preservation. They are not about the people. We have seen this, we have experienced this, and we are going to change it together as intentions. So being the change is coming, regardless of what they say. And no cricket result is going to change what is coming in
I understand that you go to
Grenadines.
Parliament when there's Parliament. You go to the House.
Most times.
And you see the Prime Minister, he sees you. Is there any interaction whenever you go?
Prime Minister avoids me.
He avoids you?
Yeah, it was funny some time ago. I sat at an event where he was, and you know it is. But yes, I think he avoids me. And listen,
you think that if he's that threatened by you,
again, I repeat, Bing, I do not have a problem. If the Prime Minister comes and say, hello, Kishore, I would say, hello, Prime Minister. How are you? Hope your health is well. Hope you're doing well. I have no problem at all with the Prime Minister. I just ready to wish him a happy retirement. That is all.
And as a lover of cricket, and I'm going to use your word, do you wish the circus well, using your words?
The circus, I mean, at this
that's
point...
What people are gonna call that's what people are going to call this thing from now on. And nobody don't blame me, see, eh? Nobody don't blame me.
At this point, it is not too late for the Prime Minister to save taxpayers' money of St. Vincent and Grenadines, right? And invest that money into something more meaningful than the circus that he and Carlos James are trying to put on at Annisfield. It is not too late, Bing. It is not too late. Because that $500,000, I don't know if it is coming from his entertainment allowance. I don't know where they're getting this money from, Bing. At least $500,000 is going to be squandered on this circus that they're calling a cricket festival, right? If they really want to invest meaningfully in cricket or sports, do it at the grassroots level. Invest it in grassroots. Invest it in getting schools cricket back up. Help the clubs. The clubs are struggling in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Struggling, right? If you want to honor people, fine. You could honor the legends still, You could honor them. But you don't need to put on a festival. I understand they're looking to flying entertainers from Jamaica and all over.
All of that?
Bing, it is squandering and abusing state resources. But again, that is not something unique that we are going to see. Wow. It is not an event in isolation to the many other occasions where this Prime Minister and his cronies abuse state resources.
Whenever we get some ads about Shady,
I'm surprised actually that they haven't given Shady. Probably has something lined up already. And he might be the DJ too now. He might be one.
Oh yeah. Shady playing in the launch. You just said you playing in the launch.
Yeah. He and Candyman gonna be up in there.
But you see, nothing don't come my way. I'm on the blacklist. I'm blacklisted.
Tell Candyman he might have to put on some pads and go bat at the game at the circus.
Because no regional players
Yeah, he might have to go in the circus and play. So
what if regional players turns up?
Well, I think it's a case if they want to risk their career. At this point, like I said, the tournament hasn't been sanctioned. And it's a risk for players. And this is a very serious matter. Yeah. It's a risk for players to participate in unsanctioned tournaments because of one, potential for anti-corruption and all these different things, and two, the fact that this tournament, because they have now branded it as the biggest cricket festival in the Caribbean, it is a total conflict with our CPL contract. Yeah, so
you just throw a hose at the cold water and that whole thing there. You're gonna make man afraid now who had already come to play, decided to come in to play.
That's what happened when the motive isn't the right thing. These things happen, you have to ensure but it may be a blessing in disguise. The Prime Minister could use us as an excuse to cancel this event and again reinvest the money elsewhere into intentions that really need.
And you're genuine about that.
100%. If the Prime Minister were to come out tomorrow and announce that he's going to do like the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and invest $1 million in he did it in sports, in cricket gears, but our Prime Minister should do it in sporting gears if he can't afford to do it alone in cricket. I would support that.
My brother, thank you very much as usual. My boy, did they say?
That's up.
Did they say, oh Lord, Bing? Then Bing is Bing. You see? I just get trouble for you, you know. I just get, you know what I mean? I just get back to, but I don't get feel.
Bing, I think you need to get some clothes, some uniform for Shady. I can't hang with Shady coming in here every day. You need to get some uniform for Shady, especially when the season coming up here.
Boy,
it's only then you're going to be bad. So please get some uniform for Shady.
Umpire, wait, umpire! I'll be you. Thank you very much,
Thanks
my
again,
brother. It
Bing.
was certainly, the people online certainly enjoyed it, this morning with you, and a lot of people feel proud of you this morning. Of course, there are those who disagreed with you. You expect that.
Tell Hammy we love him still.
Hammy, we love you still. Vinci Power as usual. You know, I saw Vinci Power celebrating at one point during the games before the 27 runs, celebrating and also celebrating the game moving to Jamaica, and said that, you know, and then it all went downhill from that. Cricket is a game of glorious uncertainty. I remember that being said at some point in time, and that's so interesting.
Yeah, Bing. I mean, just one more thing on that. Yeah. I mean, simple things like, just turn back up my volume. Yeah. I mean, simple things like cricket hasn't been played in a significant way in Jamaica for some time, in the communities and so on. And to have Jamaica as the biggest population in the Caribbean and not being involved in producing cricketers in the way they should. So just returning this test cricket, having the first day night match in Jamaica was strategic to ensure we revive cricket in Jamaica. So again, there's small wins, and that's why I said sometimes you feel as though you take 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. Right? But we need to get everything together. So it is not, all doom and out and so on. There's still some positive, some progress and so on, but we need to perform better on the field.
Anything on the cards for international games in Vincent?
Next year.
Which team?
New Zealand should be playing here next year. Yes.
Summer?
I think it's around July, but could be around summertime. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So looking forward to that in St. Vincent and so on. And VPL coming next year, not the circus.
Not the circus.
Look out for VPL next year again too.
You'll hear more from him, but this time from another platform, not from the cricketing or you'll hear from him from the political platform right here at OMG as we continue, as we get down in the meat of the matter. Yeah, you'll be hearing more of Dr. Kish right here at OMG in the morning. Thank you very much. Yeah, until tomorrow morning, we're gonna love you.
On your marks, get set, go!
The road to supremacy starts in 784. Sweet Vinci! 4 teams, 1 dream. The battle begins at the CBN. Winlock, Windward Islands, School Games 2025. From July 26th to August 2nd. Welcome to our shores as we face off with the best of the best. From Denaja Isle, Dominica, to Grenada, the island of Spice, and St. Lucia, Helen of the West. All coming to challenge the pride of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Celebrating 100 years of tradition, talent, and triumph. The oldest games in the region take center stage. Be there for the grand opening ceremony and track and field event. Saturday, July 26th at the Sir Vincent Beach Athletic Stadium. This is more than a game. It's history. It's passion. It's CBN. Winlocks, Windward Island School Games 2025 in Sweet Vinci 784.
On your marks, get set, go!
The road to supremacy starts in 784. Sweet